Yeehaw! 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 Hello, hello, y'all. Happy Tuesday. And holy resub day. Look at this hype train. Lint, thank you for the gifted sub. Sleeping Gamer with a 13-month resub. Lunacy with the 8-month resub at tier 2. Chaos Destroyer with a 13-month resub. Too Tall with the 12-month resub at tier 3. Holy shit. Hello, everyone. Hold up, I forgot to scroll up for roll call, so I'm saving my own ass right now. Hello, hello. I feel like I haven't seen y'all in a long time, and I just saw you for 30 hours literally all weekend long. How's everyone's week going so far? Hi. Hi. We're gonna now that I did all of the raids and dungeons in D2 in order, like every single raid and dungeons fresh in my mind, we're gonna go and tier list them. My final ever raid and dungeon tier list in D2. I did one when I first started streaming, but this past weekend was the first and only time I'd done the back-to-back release order situation. So every single encounter is fresh and it'll be fun to rate them. And y'all can also tell me that I'm actually crazy if I put your favorite encounter in F tier, because I'm sure I'm going to piss at least one of you off with my rating of Vesper's Host or Deepstone Crypt. So we'll chat about it. Also, it's Dado's last day playing Destiny. So I'm going to show y'all his goodbye message to Destiny if you haven't seen it already. And then we'll see what we get into. But hi. Also, I think blurbs are on, so I'm going to wait for the next resub to come in because it should play the message that someone types along with their resub message. Like when you on your resubscription day, you can send the resub alert to me, and that's when the alert comes on the screen. But it should also be reading the message now. We'll see. You got blurps now? I do. Those definitely. Holy shit, that's loud. Hold up. Wait, was that too loud for y'all? Thank you for playing a burp on my stream. Was that a burp? How the fuck did you even do that? Oh, Big Belch, yes. I'm like, I don't know what any of these are going to be called or what you're going to play. So good luck to me. Dado did Destiny. I know. What a sad day. Yeah, I know he was, Lunacy. I saw that. Was it loud? You jumped off your chair? Fuck. Okay. I'm lowering the volume like significantly. Don't worry. Hold up. Let me fix that real quick. Because we can't have that. Okay. I should be a lot lower. Like a lot lower now. So y'all just have to let me know. You're welcome, y'all. Zip, thanks for the bits. Venom with the 75 stream streak. Sparty Fan with the 65 stream streak. Lent again with the gifted sub. Sleeping Gamer with a 13-month resub. We're really getting up there, y'all. So many of you have been here since day one. Lunacy with the 8-month resub at tier 2. Thank you for the big tier 2. Chaos Destroyer with a 13-month resub. Too Tall with the 12-month resub at tier 3. Thank you for the big tier 3, Too Tall. Thank you. Happy Tuesday, live in chat. Hope everyone's having a great week thus far. I am. Yeah, I'm having a pretty good week. I hope that you are too, Miss Crit. I hope you're not working too much. You're getting some rest. It was a bit loud, Wolfing. Yeah, I lowered it. Don't worry. It shouldn't be that loud again. You'll still be able to hear it, obviously, but it shouldn't make you like jump out of your chair loud. I hope no one thinks that burp came from me on stream. Good evening, Grimy. Hi. Okay, so agenda today. Roll call, as usual. Tier listing all of the raids and dungeons in Destiny. For the last time, I have a tier list that someone updated at the Monument of Triumph launch on June 9th or after June 9th. So it should have the Pantheon encounters in there. Should have every single raid and dungeon encounter in there. Cubitus, thank you so much for the 200 bits. Hi. What's up in UFC? But so that tier list should be up to date. It combines all of them in one place, so we could just do one big one. And then I want to look at Dado stuff, because it's his last day ever playing Destiny. Well, it's not his last day ever playing Destiny. It's his last day ever making a YouTube video for Destiny. That's really the distinction. But he's retiring, as many are. And so I thought his goodbye message to the community was very sweet. Just watched his last video. So did I earlier. Yeah. What a day. What a day. I mean, we knew it was coming, right? He announced it a long time ago, but still, what a day. Calder, what is up? What is up? Um, Came from the soul, I can tell. Zip said nail check. Okay. So my nails are, I was actually supposed to wear these nails in the spring. I got them a while ago. And because they're very like April showers type shit. These are flower petals. We got like picnic blanket vibes right here. I'm going to flick y'all off real quick. We have geese in a rain. It's a goose in a raincoat with rain boots. You can't really see her all that well. And flowers. Oh, and a tulip. So pretty fancy nails on right now. Started playing Division 2 again. You're loving it. Got real tired of the the first Ascendant grind. Yeah, I don't blame you. I will check out Division 2 at some point. It's hard going to like from Destiny to a Destiny competitor so quickly, just in my opinion. But like the desire for that kind of game is definitely going to be there. I'm just kind of letting myself feel whatever I feel like playing for the first time in a long time. Because Destiny's like not the number one for the first time ever. And right now that's hero shooters. Like I sent out my stream schedule in the Discord server a few hours ago, and Sunday I'm going to be trying Overwatch for the very first time ever. I've never tried Overwatch, but I love Marvel Rivals. I'm a Marvel Rivals enjoyer, as y'all know. So, hero shooters are kind of the thing right now. I'm pretty damn addicted. Deadlock is, I like dipped my toe into Deadlock. I know that Deadlock's a MOBA, but really it's a fucking hero shooter. Like there are support characters, there are tanky characters, there are DPS characters. You're picking a hero every time you go in. It's a team versus team situation. Your team comp matters. Like, yes, it's a MOBA. It has many different layers to the hero shooter. It's honestly much more complex than a typical hero shooter, but it's also a hero shooter. So, yeah, though that kind of game is calling my name right now. But Division 3 is coming out at some unannounced date. I only played like 10 or so hours of Division 2 ever. Would love to get back into that game. I played the Division 2 campaign, some of the campaign. I'm not even sure that I actually finished the main campaign back when I played it. So I played it like a year and a half ago on a Destiny break. And then what else? I think I'm forgetting something. I'm surely forgetting something that's on my list, but level 13, this takes fucking forever. Oh, you're not comp ready yet. Everyone call Tig a stupid pussy. He's not even level 15 in Marvel Rivals, so he can't play comp. Because he's dog shit. Cypher, hello. I hope you're having a good week so far. Thank you for the 500 bits. Hi, live in chat. How's the foot? Foot is not good, but I mean, what are you gonna do about it? You know, I will probably be out for quite a few weeks, and not supposed to be walking on it. Supposed to be using crutches. Not supposed to be bearing any weight on that foot, but I mean, I'm gonna be back on the ice the second that I can be back on the ice. Is what I'm saying. Herka, thank you for the 35 stream streak. A Gray with the 150 stream streak. Just straight vibing with the 150 stream streak as well. Dark Lost with a Gator Love. Cypher, thank you again for the bits and all the resubs, y'all. Thank you. How you feeling today? I'm feeling good, Drenny. How are you? I'm feeling good. What was the verdict? Hairline fracture and some like inflamed stretch ligaments situation. So like not the worst case scenario, but certainly very far away from the best case scenario. But like also I had tempered my expectations because everyone who I described the injury to this weekend kind of said that's what they figured it was. So I'll be fine. It very, very frustrating, extremely frustrating for my skating. I need the speediest recovery that anyone's ever had of this because I was wrong. I thought that my hockey class, I thought the hockey class that I signed up for, where I'm like actually in full gear playing hockey for the first time, I thought that was at the end of September. It's not. It starts September 6th. So September 6th is my first class. I already paid for it. I'm enrolled. I could technically get a refund since I'm injured and just do a class at a later date, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to will my foot into healing by September 6th. That's what I'm going to do. So many blurps, I don't know what to pick. I got to tell Oops that they're up. Like, I thought about keeping it from him for as long as possible because he's like the king of blurps in every channel that they exist in. He's the one that asked me to enable them here. But I already know, like, once he finds out that they're enabled, it's GG's to me for a few minutes. It's just going to be like, he knows all the sounds. Like, he knows which ones to look up, which ones are the most annoying. How was Guardian of the Galaxy watch party the other night? Oh, it was last night. Yeah. I was going to stream last night. And then I was convinced to not stream and do a watch party of Guardians of the Galaxy first one in the Discord instead. So we hung out in a big voice chat last night and we watched the movie. It was my first Marvel movie I'd ever seen. And that's why I'd been meaning to watch one. I don't know if I'm going to be a Marvel movie girly, but I also think that that's totally fine. I don't think the movie's bad by any means. I wasn't like, oh, that's a dog shit movie. I don't think that's the case. I just think that like everyone's got different preferences and maybe my preference is not superhero movies personally, but still open to try some more, but it's like if I describe to you the kinds of movies that I do enjoy, the kinds of things that I do watch, it would be probably the furthest possible thing from like made up superheroes in a movie. Like I just don't care. I don't read fiction books. I don't like really watch anything fantasy related. I kind of feel the same toward anime. Like Cross has given me list after list after list of anime to watch over the years. Like, oh my gosh, this one's so good. You'll love it. And I just like, I've watched them and I'm like, yeah, I see the appeal. Like, I think that show's pretty good, but I don't know if it's for me. Pretty good. I need more of like get some political action in the TV show, a documentary, some sort of commentary. I live for a documentary. So I think that's like, I'm just maybe not the audience for that kind of movie. I felt the same about Star Wars though. Like, is Star Wars good? Yeah, I see the appeal of Star Wars. Before Renegades, we sat in the Discord and we did a watch party of episodes 1 through 6 of Star Wars. And did I like them? Mm-hmm. Would I ever watch them again? Probably not. No, I don't feel the desire to watch any further Star Wars. I'm not I'm not hooked into the lore. They were movies. I saw them. They were good. Not really my kind of movie. Would not tell anyone else to watch them. Like, whatever, you know? You'd like Endor more than the movies? Probably. Based on what y'all have said, probably. Bloodsport. History docs are goated, though. It's understandable. Yeah, so what we did after Guardians of the Galaxy last night, we watched Guardians of the Galaxy in the Discord, and then we started watching 5 Days at Memorial because we're like 11 days away from the Katrina anniversary, and 5 Days at Memorial is one of my favorite TV shows ever, and Apple TV they make the best TV shows. Like, they're so good. And there were a bunch of people who had never seen 5 Days at Memorial, so we started watching it, and we got through 5 episodes of it last night. We stayed up till 3 a.m. We were all hooked, so it was a fun time. But I hadn't seen it in many years. I read the book so long ago, so it was a good watch. We've got 2 more episodes. Actually, we watched 6 episodes. We have 2 more. It's cool that you don't like Star Wars or Marvel movies. Disconnects from stream, JK. Oh, I'm not saying it's cool or not cool. No. Like, I can appreciate them. I really do see the appeal. Like, I'm not shitting on them in any way, shape, or form. Everyone's got different kinds of games and movies and TV shows and media that they like. And I kind of know what I like and don't like. And so when I'm watching a superhero movie, it's more me giving it a shot than anything else. No superhero plot line is ever going to make me as emotional as like a documentary. Like I'm hooked into that. I need like nonfiction type shit. I know my bookshelf is still empty to this day, mostly because I didn't know if I was moving or not. So I've been like kind of hesitating on hanging up more things. But my bookshelf, when it's full, is like 95% nonfiction and 5% or less fiction. Like, it's just, I just don't read or watch fiction really ever. had me bawling last night. Dude, that show is so good. Back row, that show is so good. I'm so glad you watched it. Dude, Tech was hooked, Phantom was hooked, Gam was hooked, Jen was hooked. We were all in there watching squirrels. I was bawling at Groot. Liv's documentary tier list when? You know what? If you would like to do homework and relate to me more, you can participate with all of us who were in the Discord last night, and you could watch 5 Days at Memorial. It's only 8 episodes long. Every episode, because like they have like 6 minutes of end credits at the end of every one, a few minutes of intro stuff. It's probably like 40 minutes times 8 episodes. It's a documentary, true story. Most of the footage in the movie is real, or most of the footage in the documentary is real. It's based on Katrina, or not based on Katrina. It is a telling of the story of one of the hospitals in the aftermath of Katrina. You were also hooked into the show. Shit was wild. Oh yeah, I forgot. You went to bed. We stayed up till like 3 a.m. watching 6 episodes. I will literally give people my Apple TV login like to finish that show. We'll fucking pass it around. I don't care. But that's your homework. That's my favorite documentary right now. Whenever we're around Katrina anniversary time, I love watching Katrina stuff. Like just like it doesn't really matter how many years go by. It's always going to be a devastating day where you've like lost a lot of people, lost a lot of things. And so around anniversary time, I mean, my family bust out like the VHS tapes of footage. Everyone like reads their Katrina books. 5 Days at Memorial is it's a newer show, so like it's a lot more modern footage. But Chernobyl next. I've seen Chernobyl. I've seen it. Holy 3 a.m. How many seasons are there? It's not like a fake show. It's just a documentary of the events at Memorial Hospital during Katrina. So it's 8 episodes, no seasons. It's just 8 episodes, like 40 minutes each. The IRL footage mixed in was wild. Yeah, it's such a good show, y'all. Like, I cannot recommend it enough. Yes, I am biased because I'm from New Orleans, but I had these bitches in the voice chat last night watching it with me, and there was like 20 of us in there just hooked. So, and I was the only one from New Orleans. It's a good show. It's a really, really good show. And a good time to watch it. Do you like dinosaur documentaries? I don't know if I've really seen dinosaur documentaries. I like history, so I wouldn't be opposed to a dinosaur documentary, but I'm more of like I would like to know about dinosaurs, right? But like give me more of a documentary of more modern history than things that happened that long ago. Would like to know about them, but I don't know if I'm like sitting through hours and hours and hours of dinosaur film personally. But I don't know. It completely depends on the filmmaking style of the documentary. Documentaries are just, some of them hook you in. Anyone here a fan of Big Brother? Not watching this season, but growing up, I watched every single season. My family still does. They give me updates. Hello, Mill City. Hello. Comedy series? Do I watch comedy series? No. Do I like comedy? Sure. Yeah. I don't know how many comedians I think are actually funny, but I also don't watch very many. I don't watch any, actually. Let me rephrase that. So, Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I have seen that show. I don't like Philadelphia, though. So I won't be doing a rewatch of that one. But Danny DeVito is funny in that show. Just watched Widow's Bay, and it was excellent. I don't know what that is. Bayou Bro? Is that what you're calling me? Yeah, my hairdresser gave me a TV show recommendation last week, and she was like talking up the shit out of this show. Like she's like, oh my gosh, it's a romance drama show, and it like hooks you in. There's always so much suspense going on. You never know what's going to happen next, and every episode's a cliffhanger, and it's like new, and I've been loving it. I'm completely addicted. You really got to watch it. And I was like, girlie, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm not watching that shit. That does not sound like something that I would enjoy. So I promise it's not just superheroes. I'm just not, y'all know this about me. Like, I could name the TV shows that I've watched in the last 10 years, probably on both my hands, if not one hand. TV shows, like fictional TV shows. Could name the movies that I've seen in theaters in the past 5 years on one hand. Probably. I'd probably need both hands. But like, I don't watch a lot of movies. I definitely don't watch a lot of TV shows. And I used to read probably like a book a week, if not more. I was such a book reader. But since streaming, like about a year ago, that really dropped off too. Because when the fuck am I supposed to be reading books? Like, I don't got free time for books. And so, like today, I read some of a book. I read like 15 chapters of a book today, but they're all nonfiction. I'm telling you, I don't read fiction. So I don't know. It's hard to like convince me to watch a movie or a TV show and get me hooked in it because I'm just not like, whatever. That sounds like a really big commitment. Marvel movies, aren't there like 8 fucking trillion bajillion hours of Marvel movies? No, thank you. That's a commitment that I literally, if I started today and started watching that shit, I would not finish it before I died. So, no, thank you. If you like mystery whodunits, you might like Lanterns on HBO. Akira movie is an anime. What was the foot diagnosis? Hairline fracture, stretched ligament situation, doesn't need surgery, but it's not good. It makes sense that I can't walk all these days later. Still can't put any weight on it. It's currently compressed, wrapped in a bunch of bandages, elevated on an ottoman under my desk, and I keep rotating in ice packs. So whatever. We'll see how long it takes to heal. Hi, Kinky Tinky. Teen Wolf series. Phasio, are you just naming shows? No, I would not watch the Teen Wolf series. I'm getting overwhelmed by blurb choices. Just straight vibing, by the way. Just straight vibing, are you still here? Thank you so much for the 12-month resub. Happy fucking 1 year, just straight vibing. Thank you for all the stream streaks, y'all. MJ, thank you for the hype bits. Hi, Cosmic Bite. Hi. Also, blurps are not working because it's supposed to read the sub message that y'all send with the resubscription alert. And just straight vibin sent a message. Hope you have a speedy recovery. But thank you, by the way. And it didn't read it out loud, even though I'm looking at my alerts description and it says it'll read it out loud. So I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm gonna play around with that tomorrow. You don't understand how much of a pain in the ass this shit is. Favorite comedian, Josh Johnson. Yeah, I'm really not in the market for new comedians because I don't care about comedians, but I can appreciate them for sure. Okay. I literally don't know how the fuck to do this. I'm not gonna lie. So. Sure. We'll just do. Okay. I think now resubs will work. I just updated it. I think resubs will work. I saw an error that I had in the blurps dashboard, which was that I didn't put which source I was streaming from. So I put Twitch resubs on there now. Any tier, any months, Twitch only. So it should text-to-speech resub messages now. If it doesn't, then my GG's to me. I don't fucking know. We'll figure it out tomorrow if it doesn't. Okay. Just straight vibing. Thank you again. Thank you again. I'm not watching Lanterns either, y'all. Nails are fire? Thanks. Yeah, I really fuck with these. I really, really fuck with these. Good time to put on these nails because there's no way I could skate in these. Put these in my gloves. They're way too long. I can't wear nails like this when I have gloves on. So, writing this down, adding to my list sounds interesting. What, Lanterns? It definitely does sound interesting. I just ain't got time for all that. I'm not watching a TV show, y'all. The only time of day I would watch a TV show is nighttime, and that's when I work, so no TV show recommendations needed for me. Not for this bitch. Old Fart Gamer, by the way, we got to get to roll call before I am so goddamn far behind, and then we'll tier list, and we'll look at Dado's message. We'll get to gaming. Okay. Old Fart Gamer, R Dobbs, Element Eric, Too Tall, Chaos Destroyer. Those are early birds. I actually started streaming 15 minutes early, so I was an early bird. Kind of cut off the early birds a little bit early there, but Too Tall and Chaos Destroyer, thank you again for the 13-month resubs. Too Tall with the big tier 3. I don't even know if Too Tall's here anymore, but he was giving me hockey stick recommendations earlier. So W Too Tall. I was trying to figure out what hand I shoot with. Like hockey players, you're so lucky if you're just like right-handed. And you're right hand dominant. It's like really easy to figure out what side you shoot on. If you're left-handed, you're so left hand dominant. I write with my left hand, but I took all of these like dominance tests, like left right hand dominance tests, because I'm right eye dominant. right leg dominant, left arm dominant, typically. But I took this like, oh, like which hand should you shoot with in hockey test where they ask you 10 questions and every single one will have an answer left or right based on this action you need to take. I took the fucking quiz. I got a 5 out of 5, 5 left, 5 right. So like fewer conclusions now than I had earlier. I have no idea what side stick to buy. I want to see if this blurb works. It should. I don't have many restrictions on. I got the This Day and Blu-ray DVD Ghost Rider. Nice, Fazio. Nice. I have no idea what that is, but nice.
Drink up, bitch. It's hydrate time.
Wait, that's so good. Was that still too loud for y'all, or was that a more appropriate volume? That blurb. Y'all have to tell me if I need to adjust the volume still. I'm left-handed except shooting, dribbling, basketball, and playing guitar. I have no idea why I'm like that. I play guitar with my left hand. I dribble and shoot with my right hand. But I dribble, shoot with my right hand. If it's kickball or something, I would kick with my right foot, bat with my left hand in softball, throw with my left hand, but in basketball specifically was right hand. I really do think I could go either way. I'm pretty sure it's just 50-50. Like I even was practicing like some stick handling with hockey sticks and both of them felt the same. I was like, well, both of these feel awkward and uncomfortable because I have no idea what I'm doing, but neither of them feels bad. I think I could just shoot whatever fucking way I want to shoot. That should forever be the sound when someone redeems hydrate. Zip. Good blurb find. Good blurb find. That's actually a really good one. How did you do that? Oh, thanks to Oops. Oops is the king of blurps. He set up blurps over for ZK. And he's been asking me for months to enable this shit. And I've just been pushing it off for months, being like, I don't know if I want that enabled. I don't know if I want it enabled. Well, I enabled it today. We'll see how it goes. But if you like, actually, I don't know how you find it. I don't know what things look like to you. But underneath my stream, if you're on desktop, underneath my stream, you should scroll down. You'll see like a blurps thing, like a dashboard situation that you can just click through sounds on. If you're on mobile, I think you're going to have to use this link that I'm putting in the chat. And then that's the link to my blurps dashboard. And do I make the noises? No. Okay, so don't come for me if you find some stupid shit in there. I tried to put some restrictions on there, like no fucking hate speech, right? I put some restrictions on my dashboard, so y'all shouldn't just be able to play anything you find, but you could, like, anything with curse words or whatever, that's all fine. There's no restrictions on that. So, do I know fully how blurps work? No. Have I ever played a blurp in someone else's stream? No. Are they enabled on my stream currently? Yes. And that is what Zip is playing. Backroad, hello. Lemmy Winks, Miss Grid, Phantom, Laser J, Caveman, Lunacy, Jero, Astral, Iron Lord Vader, Mr. Toda, hello, it's been a while. Saxon, Sleeping Gamer, Bayou Live, I was about to say hi to myself. Saint Gaz, Noble Bulls, Lent of Death, Alexis, Ravaged, what's up? Hello, hello. Revenant. Lynch, thank you again for the gifted sub, by the way. Old Fart Gamer, Ace Man the Fan, Jeff on the Sticks, Tom Chambers, Shaft Rider, good username, Shaft Rider. Chris 7420, Partysaurus, Zip, thank you for the Discord plug. It didn't read it. Y'all, it's not reading it. It's not reading the resub noise. What the hell?
Blurp Explorer from Blurb.
I just tried it. Like, you can press a test button. So that was the test button. It fucking works on the test, but it doesn't work in reality. Hold up. Actually, I do think I know what's going wrong. Okay, that's fine. I'm just gonna have to watch another tutorial or something. I watched pretty much every video on the internet on this stupid fucking blurps thing, and no one was very straightforward about it, like at all. So I'm just gonna have to figure it out on my own, but it's really not that easy.
6, 7.
I'm immediately banning that one. I'm banning that one right away. That one's never getting, no. After today, that one's banned. Bass Foil, by the way. Bass Foil, thank you for the 12-month resub. Apparently it's been a year. Apparently it's been a year. You know, that was supposed to be read out. And by the way, it's Ghost voice. The voice that I have reading out the resub messages is the voice of Ghost. And I was excited about it. And it won't fucking read. Like, I genuinely hate this shit. Like, I need someone else to do it for me, and I'm about to just pay someone else to do it for me. I watched so many videos today from fucking Blurps themselves, the company, and I'm like, this is the stupidest fucking guide I've ever read, because their dashboard looks nothing like any of their video tutorials anymore. It's like they're outdated. Everyone who's like ever made a tutorial on it, their shit's outdated too. Things are called different things in here now. Like, you just can't get this to work. So, woohoo! I'm probably just gonna like do another platform for resub messages. Zip, thank you so much for the gifted sub. Thank you. I fucking knew Herka was gonna use 6-7. Oh yeah, you could have predicted that one. Hey Corey, what's up? Hello. Hold up, let me continue hype train and not get too derailed. But I do think I know what I'm doing wrong-ish. I'm reading through all their variable types, and I think you need to be really, really specific. But we'll see. Because I'm like, I'm not using one of their templates. I think they're dumb. So I'm like I made my own. But apparently I did not code it properly. So, okay. We'll figure that out later. I need to put something in. Okay. Look at the first two numbers in your gifted sub count. Jesus Christ. Zipper, ignore it. Sparty fan for life, what's up? Hello. Saxon, Venom, hi. Scouse Girl Gone Wild, hello. Dad was getting a ton of love at the beginning of his stream. It was very cool. Yeah, I've been there since he started streaming. It was very, very cool. Wolfing, Astral, my name is my name. Hello. Cubitus, Miss Crid, hi again. Happy Tuesday. Grimy Spec, in UFC, Blue Hoodie, Zincosis, thanks for following. Welcome to the community. Calder, what's up? Gemma Fitz, Cypher, Backroad, Chris Olcamp, hello Chris. Partysaurus, hello again. David 1981, Killerway, what's up? I'm good, how are you? Herka, Garden of Salvation is going to be S tier, right? I'm not going to lie to you, it's going to be, well, S tier, hell no, but it's going to be higher than you'd expect. It's not going to be F tier. I think during this 30-hour stream this past weekend, I had a sort of awakening with Garden of Salvation, and it's actually not as bad as I thought it was. Maybe I just always have miserable teammates who were complaining about it the whole time. I'm not sure. I had a lot of fun running Garden of Salvation this past weekend. I'm not going to lie to you. It was already one of my favorite environments in the game. I'm about to put on a Garden of Salvation wallpaper on my... You know what? I'm putting on a Garden of Salvation wallpaper. Let me do that real quick. Meanwhile, decades of 420 and 69 jokes. I know. Okay, but like even those get old, right? You don't do them all the time. I think the difference about 6-7 is that people who say 6-7, it is their whole personality. Their whole entire personality. And 420-69 shit is like, I think it's such an old quote unquote joke that, yeah, like sometimes you say it, whatever. Sometimes people make jokes about it, but it is not a constant part of life. 6-7 is a constant part of life for people who joke about it. And that is why it got old. That's why it got old. I don't think it doesn't have staying power. You got to space it out. Hi, Majin. Hi. It's literally part of my personality, especially in my classroom. Oh, I'm aware, Herka. I know it's part of your personality. I know. Killerway, hello. Dark Loss, hello, Lossie. Weezin PJ, hello. Thoughts on Asmoncross? Do you mean Asmongold or Astercross? Or do you mean that they fucked and they have a child and its name is Asmoncross? Weezin PJ, I'm going to need you to be a little bit more specific there. Because you either could be dropping some serious lore about those two, or you could have meant one or the other. But Asmoncross, not a person I know of. I heard they had a baby. Oh, I think Weezin PJ is dropping that information in the chat. Weezin PJ just said, what are your thoughts on Asmoncross? I don't know who that is unless it is their child, which Cross never told me he was pregnant. So I don't know. My thoughts are yikes. Would never ever I feel terrible for that child. But um my thoughts on Asmongold, I don't think that I need to elaborate. I think if you spent any amount of time in my stream, you would know how absolutely despicable I think a human being like that is. Thoughts on Aster Cross? Love that guy. My favorite person in the world. Am I right? Overwatch 2 is a lot more complicated than Rivals. Yes and no. Yeah. I was talking about Deadlock being more complicated, Astral. Tig, you're almost there. You're almost there. Samwise, what's up? Obi, hello. Hello, hello. A Gray, what's up? Hi. Is it your stream pedal foot? Well, I have 2 stream pedals, so both of my feet are used to stream pedals, so I can't pedal since my left foot is injured and I can't like put any weight on it or anything and it needs to be elevated. It'll just be my right pedal, or I just won't pedal at all, whatever. I'll like manually press my buttons on my stream deck. Drinny, hello. Hi. Just straight vibin'. MJ Ball, Element Eric, what's up? Buddha, hello. George, what's up? Don't push it. Make sure it's healed. My daughter had an ankle injury after an axle, pushed it, and still has ankle problems years later. Yeah. Yeah, no. I do know the sentiment. I am grown, but I'm probably going to push it, and I will deal with the consequences when it's time. Marvel movies are fun. I let Endgame be my ending, but I did enjoy a few other movies and shows. DGK Domo, what is up? Hello. Hi. Hey, live in chat. It's perfectly fine if you aren't into superhero stuff. That's fine. Oh, no, I know it's fine. I just don't want to offend anyone. So I like feel like I need to clarify. I'm not shitting on the movie or anyone who likes those movies. I don't think it's weird to like those movies or anything like that. I think everyone has different preferences in movies, which is probably a very like not that controversial of a statement, right? But you should see what happens in my DMs the second that I say I'm like interested in watching a Marvel movie. Not only are people debating in the Discord which movies I should watch, what I would care about, what I wouldn't care about, but also in my DMs saying, "Oh, this is the list that you need to watch. This is what I think you would care about. Here's the real answer of what you need to watch." And I'm like, dude, I'm not interested in watching all of that shit. I'm gonna try 1 or 2. I'm not watching the entire repertoire. I'm not. I'm not doing that for anything, much less superheroes. About beverages, what's up? Hello. Love a good documentary. Me too, Miss Grid. Me too. Rob Papaya. Hello, Robert Papaya. Hi. Are you missing hockey, Rob? Because I'm missing hockey. We have a T minus less than 1 month till NHL 27, and I'm still not sure if I'm going to buy it or not, but I miss hockey real bad, Rob. Wreckin' Havoc, Iron Lord Vader, hi. Dan Pan, what's up? Guardians of the Galaxy was the first Marvel movie you watched? Yeah, last night in the Discord. Psychotic Sloth, hello. Liv's documentary tier list win. I could try to tier list the ones I've seen, but I don't even know I don't have like any sort of running list of what I've seen and not seen. I would just have to look up documentaries and be like, oh yeah, I've seen that one. Oh, I've seen that one. Narcos is a shit if you haven't watched it. Oh, I have. Very good. Very, very good. I'll take some documentary suggestions. Okay. First one, just because of the time of year, 5 Days at Memorial. Good book, good documentary. You should watch it. It's on Apple TV. We're going to finish the last 2 episodes after stream tonight in the Discord. But, yeah, I could give you documentary recommendations for sure. There aren't very many documentaries I've met that I don't like. So, but I definitely have like some sort of ranking in my head. I miss How You Hurt Your Foot. Being an idiot skating. Actually, not being an idiot. It happens, right? I guess I was due for an injury. This is like definitely the worst injury I've ever had in my life, which is honestly, I'm lucky to be able to say that. Like, I've never had any sort of like, oh fuck, you broke your bone or you fucking tore something straight through and you need surgery kind of a thing. So I'll take it, whatever. It happens. You were hooked in 5 Days Memorial. The shit was wild. Baby Yoda Gaming, what is up? Old Man Grande, hello. Phasio, what's up? Hi. Mill City Haitian, First Anomaly, Nanner Salad, hi. Yes, I called you bro. Please don't hurt me. No, you're good. You're good. Lemmy Winks, hello. Jack 505. Oh, now I'm like rereading chats that I was reading as they came through. Did you ever see Obsession? No, I don't watch horror movies, Quan B. I've seen a lot of clips of it online. Definitely know what goes on, but even from the clips that I saw online, I like had trouble sleeping for a few nights. Uh, when I originally saw them, I don't do horror. I don't do jump scares. I don't like horror movie music. I don't like any sort of like possessed demon situation, not because it really just because I don't like anything that I think could happen to me in real life type shit. So if it was a horror movie, but it was like a zombie apocalypse or like post-apocalyptic world type of situation, even though you could argue that that is pretty damn realistic these days, that doesn't scare me. I've always been able to handle that kind of thing. Gore and blood and stuff does not scare me. But it's like a serial killer kidnaps women type of horror movie, that's not for me. Or like a you're like in a relationship, or your mom or your friend or like someone you know turns into some sort of possessed demon. No, thank you. No, I don't actually need to think about that ever. And that shit really, I don't know how people watch scary movies and aren't affected by that stuff, but no fucking thank you. No fucking thank you. I saw a trailer for a new horror movie that's coming out soon called The Other Mommy. And it's where this little girl's mom is a demon and wants to get inside of her heart, played by, oh man, the actress's name was so man, fuck. And so this demon, this little girl doesn't know when she's talking to her real mom and when she's talking to the demon mom. And the demon mom acts completely normal, cooks her meals, picks her up from school, whatever it might be. But then the husband also doesn't know when he's talking to his wife or the demon. And this demon like takes over their entire household. No fucking thank you, man. Like, no thank you. I don't want to be like married one day and think, oh my God, am I talking to a fucking demon right now? Like, no, maybe you don't believe in ghosts, maybe you don't believe in demons, but where I'm from in New Orleans, like we're taught to really, really respect the dead, like whether you have any sort of religious connotation or not, which I do not, but like I don't really think about whether I believe in ghosts or not. I just know that I respect the dead and I would like to not fuck with them and I would like them to not fuck with me. I don't, regardless of like level of reality there, right? And so I like to stay in my little bubble where I don't fuck with anything paranormal at all. I don't watch movies like that. Occasionally, my friends will drag me to the movie theater because they think it is hilarious how scared I am of scary movies. And they'll force me to watch a scary movie that they all like laugh at. They're like, oh, that wasn't even that scary. So I could probably name a couple of horror movies I've seen in the past few years. I saw Black Phone 2. I saw Smile 2. I saw Smile was genuinely, I think, the scariest movie I've ever seen in my life because, I mean, it's really good at this like modern sense of horror, right? Where you take something that is not scary at all, a smile, something that's just supposed to be happy, and then every time someone smiles at you, you're afraid that they're a demon because it takes it takes a smile and it makes it like horrifying. Smile, if you have seen Smile, that movie fucked me up for months. Genuinely, that movie fucked me up for months. I can't watch scary movies. My friends sort of force me to do it sometimes. I've seen all of Jordan Peele's movies. Some of them scary, some of them not. Here's an example of something I wouldn't find scary. One of the Jordan Peele movies was about an alien abduction. So it was all aliens and fuck, I forget the name of it. Maybe it was called Nope or something. But like, the Jordan Peele movie, I don't know the names of any of these movies. The Jordan Peele horror movie where they're at like the festival and then like underground there's some demon shit happening and then they all get like kind of chased around by demons sort of a thing, that scares me. The Jordan Peele movie where it was about aliens and alien abductions and like there were a lot of jump scares and horror but it was all alien related, did not scare me at all. I left the movie theater being like, okay, well the jump scares were like jump scares, but I'm not afraid of no fucking alien abduction. I'm not imminently afraid of being abducted by aliens, so I'm okay watching an alien abduction horror movie. So maybe that explains where I stand with horror. I don't like demons. We never watched Smile because Crit always laughs at any of the smiles. He thinks they're hilarious. That is literally the scariest movie I've ever seen in my life. Trailer's awesome, but yeah, if you don't like creepy shit, that one isn't for you. What, The Other Mommy? Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of mean. Oh, my friends just do it for fun. I'm not forced to go see it. I look up the entire plot before we go, so I know every single character who's going to live and die, and I know exactly what happens in the horror movie. I have never been surprised going to a horror movie in the theaters. Despite that, I'm so scared shitless. I know what's going to happen, and I'm still scared shitless. I just don't like horror. I just don't like horror. Funnily enough, though, I probably have seen more horror movies in the last few years than like any other genre. Because all of my friends love horror movies. Hear me out. What if the demon is hot? No. 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 Because they're demons because they're horrifying. They want to kill you. They literally want to kill you. So I don't care if they're hot. They want to kill me, and no thank you. I'm just trying to sleep and take a shower and cook and eat and go home and leave my house, and I'm not trying to be followed around by a fucking demon. I'm not trying to like turn around and there's a fucking demon in my room. I'm not trying to wake up in the middle of the night and there's a goddamn demon in my room. No, again, I respect the dead. I hope the dead respects me. They have thus far in my life. And my grandma always told me growing up, because my grandma like grew up in an age in New Orleans where like voodoo was very, I'm not to say it's not prominent now in New Orleans, but like there's a whole, if you've never seen American Horror Story season 3, it takes place in New Orleans where I grew up and touches on a lot of voodoo themes. And like that shit is real, right? Like that, maybe I don't believe in voodoo per se, but voodoo is very much a part, very deeply ingrained in New Orleans culture. And it's all about your respect for the dead or disrespect of the dead. And in New Orleans, when I was growing up at my grandma's house, I was scared of horror movies and stuff. And my mom loved horror movies. And so I would always ask my grandma, like, are ghosts real? Are there demons here? And sometimes I'd be like scared to like sleep because I was so scared of horror movies. And my grandma was like, don't worry about it, Olivia. If you respect the dead, they'll respect you back. It's all good. So thanks, Grandma. That's why I'm chilling, living by myself now. Demons are angels with shitty PR. Demons are only angels with shitty PR if you're religious, because you would have to believe in angels for you to believe that they're demons are the reverse of angels. Zip, thank you for lurking. Thank you. But like tieflings can be hot. I have no idea what that is. I've never read that word in my entire life. Cosmic Bite, hello. Kinky Tinky, what's up? Silent Breezy, hello. Have you read The Black Count? No. No. But based on your description of it, I need to add it to my list. That sounds good. Jack 5 of 5, hello again. Saint Gaz, Sloth, 2 sloths in the chat. Hello. Hi. I heard basketball talk. We weren't talking about, I was just talking about how I shoot with my right hand in basketball, even though I'm left-handed. There's a blurp logo near the gift sub area on mobile. Oh, that's how you do it on mobile? Got it. Bass Foil, hello, and thank you again for the 12-month resub. Unpredictable Misfit, hello. Patty, what's up? King Beck, hello. Phantom, hi. Thanks for watching 5 Days at Memorial with us last night, Phantom. B. Tracy, what's up? My 7th grader specifically loved 6-7. We need a stupid number tier list now. There aren't that many stupid numbers, luckily. Obi said the square root of 4,761. Does that make it creative? Oh my goodness. Akushio, hello. Did they end up figuring out if you broke your foot? I didn't break my foot. No. I think 6-7 doesn't stick because it has no meaning. Yeah, 69 has like there's a definition. It has a meaning. 420 does as well. 6-7 is just like some random like kids thing. Like I've made a 6-7 joke before, right? I'm just like, I do think we're far past the point of like 6-7 being in its prime. Far past the point of that. It doesn't have any sort of like meaning to make it last across decades. 69 will always be 69 because jokes are not like it's just a thing. 420 will always be associated with like 420 the day, 420 the behavior. It's 6'7" just doesn't mean anything. It just has no meaning. It's purposeless. F and beef, what's up? You haven't heard, Liv? According to the marathon community, Cross is a right-wing grifter. But what does that have to do with that? Like Asmon Cross? I don't know what F and beef. I'm unfamiliar with what Cross did. Is Cross in some controversy? I could be his PR manager. I'd probably be better at that than him. I just looked up Asmongold. Holy cow, yeah, seems like a massive tumbling dickweed. Oh, you didn't know who Asmongold was until just now? Consider yourself blessed. Genuinely, he's a terrible person. Astacross is the one that turned me on to you. Well, welcome, welcome. Thanks, Astacross. Lade, what's up? BLKK, Lazy Elf, Phenomenal One, Lurking Joe, McFlurry, hello. Hi. Grass is Greener on Netflix is about the history of weed and music. Great watch. Hell yeah. You read a lot, must be really smart. I don't know if those two things are correlated. I think I am a smart person. I don't really think it's like weird to say that. I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, I read books, so I'm better than you. No, I just like I fuck with reading books more than I fuck with watching TV shows. However, there are pretty specific conditions for me to be able to read well, and it is complete peace and quiet and silence. I could either be outside, and then there could be like a bunch of background noise going on. If I'm in my house, though, and there would be like upstairs neighbors stomping around like fucking giants, there's no way I'm reading. I'd just be pissed off the whole time. Like, I'm trying to read and have like a peaceful moment here, and you're being a fucking elephant up there. So, my reading conditions are specific, but I do love to read. Zimpako, what's up? Commander, thank you for lurking. I hope you're doing well. Are you talking about the new Obsession or something else? The movie Obsession. It's a horror movie. Yeah. Jessica Chastain. Yes, Jessica Chastain, who I love, by the way. W Ginger. She stars in The Other Mommy, which is a new horror movie about this like mom demon. So if you're interested in horror movies, maybe you'd like that one. Watch The Sixth Sense? No, thank you. No. Sounds scary. Shiolga, hello. Hi. Zip, thanks for lurking again. My name is my name. Hi. Edgy Creator, what's up? Pablo, hello. Sunbro Joe, what's up? Hi. In later news, do we need a rank list? What do we mean? That's what we're doing today. I like to read with some sort of related ambient music playing on the TV. Oh. Cross quoted Grums and Christopher Barrett on some stuff in his latest video, and people found that offensive because they thought he was platforming them. Oh, got it. I could not be bothered with something like that. But I haven't watched Cross's latest videos, so that kind of explains why I have no idea what y'all are talking about. Multiple people coming in here and being like, so you like Asmon Cross? What are your thoughts on Cross? What's going on with Cross? I'm like, dude, he's like literally not even home. I don't know what y'all are talking about. What's wrong with Cross? Like, maybe he did something, but that man has done far stupider things and no one has cared. So he read a Christopher Barrett quote. I feel like if you're gonna get mad at him for something, pick something else, because like there are things out there. Like you could like find something better than that. Like, and then I would support you. I'd like be like, hell yeah, fuck Astrocross, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know if I can really get behind that one. Okay. So let's tier list. Why don't we? Let's fucking tier list. So, it is time. Where the fuck is my tier list? Oh, I DM'd it to myself. First, I'm going to show y'all Dado's goodbye message, though, because it was very sweet. Look at my Garden of Salvation wallpaper. I just changed it to this. That's how you know it's serious. That's how you know it's very serious, y'all. Come back with a better Cross offense. No, that's what I'm saying. Do I need to watch Cross's video and see what y'all are being fucking stupid about? Not y'all, but just like people in general. I want to go look it up. Like, ooh, we get to be mad at Cross about something? I'm down. He had someone else doing his stream today. That would be Luke. That would be his minion. Which video are we talking about being offensive? Which video did he do anything in? Have a great stream. Gonna lurk while I finish my final. Thank you for lurking, Paradoxal. Good luck on your final. Old Bungie game director speaks
Cross,
out.
have you seen Christopher Bear's new round of tweets? No, what's it say? My thoughts on vaulting content. There's a few legitimate reasons this exists. One is HTC space. On consoles, all the content just won't fit on core systems. Another is base install size for new players. The last is the development burden of testing all content when...
So he just reads... Yeah, so he's just like reading a bunch of tweets from Christopher Barrett and Grums. Okay. So like the first like couple minutes are just straight up like reading all their tweets. And then tweet replies to those tweets. And then more tweet. So this is just like reading tweets. It's just a video of him reading tweets. He read tweets, chat told him to read, and people got mad. Oh, okay. Wait, can I get into the drama in the comments? Fuck, there's not really drama in the comments. God damn it. Oh, I wanted to reply to someone. Man. Grums, really? Oh, I don't... Who's Grums? Grums tweet spotted, opinion discarded. Ooh, who's Grums? Interesting. Cross is going full grifter, it seems. Does Cross know Grums? I don't know who that is. Does Cross know that guy? I don't think so. Not that I know of, at least. Nauma, thanks for lurking. Hi. I don't think Cross knows who that is. If I don't know who that is, there's a chance Cross doesn't know who that is either. Asmongold, though, yeah, fuck that. You should have seen what I told him when he reacted to an Asmongold video one time. I don't think he'll ever do that again, but you got to be pretty online to know who Grums is. Yeah, I have absolutely no idea who that is, literally at all. I was just clicking through these tweets and I was like, okay, tweets, Christopher Barrett, tweets. This guy? We're worried about this guy who doesn't, like, we shouldn't be worried about that guy. Anyway, damn, y'all could have picked something juicier to hate Crossover. Like, come on. Cross has done so much stupid shit. Y'all couldn't have picked something worse. This man has literally asked about the validity of vaccinations on stream, has literally talked about peptides as if they are gospel. He has shit on Marathon in a content farming cycle never done before. Truly feats of science. And we're going to hate him because he read a tweet. Come on, pick something juicier so that I can get in on it, because I can't get in on this. So... According to Google, Grums is a former Blizzard exec who was a lead behind World of Warcraft. I hate on Cross for making the worst damage testing videos, and that's a beautiful reason to hate on him. Yeah, fuck that guy and his illegitimate damage testing videos where he just does vibes-based math. Yeah, fuck that guy. Grums is a big get women out of video games guy, I believe. Oh man, I would love to argue with him. Oh my god, someone connect me with Grums, please. Like, I would love to argue with him. I'd pay to argue with him, actually. If Asmon's shit had a twin, it would be Grums. Oh, cool. That's pretty fun. Cool.
All right.
Check. I don't like hearing his voice. I'm just kidding. You've probably made more money talking about how Marathon failed than Marathon did itself. Yeah. He does make a lot of money farming that content, and y'all eat that shit up. Y'all eat that shit up. You notice what stopped happening with me? The content farm. You see how none of these videos are watched? You see how I just kind of like stopped watching? In 2025, I was the #1 Astrocross video viewer in the world. No one viewed more of them than me, and that was thanks to Cashew and Peppa. We've gone over that before. Big fan. However, you see how I'm not clicking that shit. I'm not clicking this, but 210,000 people are clicking it. So it doesn't really matter, but I'm personally, let's hold up. Let's count how many Marathon videos in the last month, okay? Marathon, a game that he has not played in months, that has literally nothing to do with, like, he is so far unrelated. He's just not, he has nothing to do with Marathon. So let's think how many videos could he make about Marathon? So we got 1 Actually, I think a lot of his recent videos are going to be about Destiny, huh? He might get a break recently because he's got so much Destiny June 9th content to talk about. But we've got 2 marathon videos in the last 2 weeks. Yeah, I don't know what that's about. 2 marathon videos in the last 2 weeks. Yeah. Hell yeah. Oh, my favorite genre is dying. Good video title, good video title. Yeah. It's not too bad. That's 3, you know, some of these could be about marathon and I just don't like immediately see it, but 3 standout marathon videos in the last month. Okay, hold up, here's another one. Okay, that's 4 in 1 month. All right.
Yeehaw!
It could be worse. It really could. But it could be a lot better too. Stepping Jaguar. Jaguar, thank you so much for the 12-month resub. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Happy 1 year, Jaguar. I hope you're doing well today. Chicken Butt, hello, hello. You know him personally, don't you? No, I've never spoken to him before. Personally. But maybe one day I'll meet him. Okay. So let's tier list. Feel like we may be getting final twit soon. I hope it's this Thursday. Here's what's pissing me off. I'm going to keep doing it because it matters to me a lot. But every single Thursday, I make no plans. I schedule no work. I do not like nothing. No workouts, nothing. Because I want to be ready to go live just in case the 12 comes out. And so every week I'm like, okay, maybe this week, maybe this week, maybe this week. But I feel like DMG is going to say something the week that it's coming out. I hope it's this week, but I think there's a chance of it coming out this week, probably like 5%. Next week, per maybe. 2,000 XP away. Let me be free from this prison. Oh, come on. Then you have 10 placement matches after that, actually. Twid has been with us all along. No, the final Twid is yet to come out. DMG said last that they don't have a date. Actually, let me verify like what were the DMG tweets, because the last time he spoke about it, I'm pretty sure all he said was we don't have a date. So let me see. Oh wait, a Florida Lee? This is so New Orleans. I love it. I love video games. Good. Okay, maybe he hasn't talked about it in a while. Like before GCX, man. Damn. Yeah, I don't know. I remember him talking about it, but it's been over a month, and I don't think he said anything about the 12 at all, like whether or not it's coming out. So I somehow joked my way into a mod position across the channel today. I think you've been a mod before. Also, that's just Luke, and you've been a mod before. Okay. Let's see. I'm not gonna find anything there. Let's see. I'm gonna just pull up the tier list, and we're gonna tier list. Okay. Love the SN fellow Bleach fan? I have no idea what that means. Hello, Control. Hi. You'll genuinely say some of the most confusing shit I've ever seen in my life. Okay. I was going to mod for Cross. I told him he needs a mod that's going to handle things maturely. He needs to get some of the mods that are not going to be jackasses. Some of his mods are good. Some he's constantly getting rid of. Beatrice, you're not going to mod for Cross. Cross has literally absolutely no process for modding other than guys who literally like obsess over him. Those are his mods. I've removed probably like 150 of them over the years, but Cross does not give a fuck. He does not give a fuck. He does not know the names of his mods. He does not know who's a mod and who's not at any given time. He does not care. As long as someone's there to make a prediction when he says to make a prediction, to distribute the prediction points when he says to distribute them, to ban someone if he says to ban them, He's chilling otherwise. That's all that a mod is there for. It's really not that serious to him. Does he know that people have power trip issues? Absolutely. Absolutely. Um does he know how to handle that? No. Does he care? No. So we can hear your Discord notifications, by the way. I just turned them off, yeah. Justice for beef. That's the thing, like, y'all have to care about being a mod less. Like, genuinely. Like, you are grown men. You're grown men. Being a mod for Astrocross is not a resume builder. I promise you. You became a mod for Cross today, and it like made your day, and you came. That was the first thing that you thought to update people on. You're a mod that one of Cross's minions made you a mod. Like, you're doing it for free, voluntarily, for him to boss you around. And he'll just remove you at literally any second that he feels like it, or have one of his minions remove you. You know how that works. You know how that works. You're a mod for Astrocross. I put moderator for bio of my resume. Was that wrong? Mods don't even have to do anything here. I just be handing out swords. Literally having a sword is like, these are my friends. Okay. Let's see. Hold up. I walked into Emasculation 101. What's up, crazy one? Okay. Let's tier list these raids and dungeons. Let's do it. So, here's the problem with the names of the encounters. I don't know the symbols or the names. And sometimes these pictures are so... Isn't this just like a traversal section, for example, in Shattered Throne? Some of the pictures are going to be vague enough for me to not fully know where they go. It's a traversal section? Oh, so they have like everything in here. Holy shit. These are dungeons and raids though. So I'm going to try to do the dungeons first and then reset it and then do the raids because I don't want them all in the same place. Hi, Clive Trotter. Hi. My goat who has shit taste in anime. Oh, okay, it's a cross mod convention. I hope y'all are having a good one. Hello. Okay, Rebus. That was the very first one we did during the 30-hour stream. I actually think it's a good concept. And by the way, these are dungeon rankings only. I'm not going to do dungeon and raid rankings at the same time because I think it's unfair to compare something like Riven to something like a Shattered Throne boss or any dungeon boss, for example. I think that dungeons are worse than raids, but that's because in my opinion, dungeons are not ever going to be as complex as raids. They're not meant to be. They're meant to be soloable. They're shorter, fewer encounters. Like and so comparing raids to raids, totally fine with me. Comparing raids to dungeons, not fine with me. So these are my like S to F rankings of dungeons only. I'm also removing this E tier because what the hell is that? Okay. I think that the first encounter of Shattered Throne is good. These are your rankings, right? You're not asking chat opinions. No, I actually, like, yes, they're my rankings, but I do want to hear what y'all think. Like, this is the final ranking ever. I do think I could be convinced, like, if I'm reminded of something that maybe I forgot about, or if someone gives a good point as to why they think the encounter is better or worse, I could definitely be swayed. But these are, yeah, they're definitely going to be like my initial thought for ranking these. First encounter of Shattered Throne, I actually did not mind. I think this is peak skate encounter. Yeah, if you like skating, I'm sure this is a good skating encounter. NYC. It's a tad long, but for its age, very fun mechanics. That's what I was thinking about this when I did it the other day. For context, if you weren't here this weekend, we did a 30-hour stream, and part of the stream was back to back every dungeon and every raid.
Yeehaw!
Literally every dungeon, every raid in Destiny. So, all of these encounters are pretty fresh in my head. Gam, hello. Thank you for the 11-month resub, Gam. Also, thank you for watching the show with us last night. Hi. If you learn this encounter well enough, you can breeze through it. Yeah, I think it's a solid like B+, maybe even an A, depending on where I put some of the other ones. So, the traversal section, I mean, it's a traversal section. I don't know why this is here. I almost don't want to rank it. Because I'm like, it doesn't have a boss, it doesn't have mechanics. I don't know that this is a dungeon encounter. Do y'all think it's an encounter? The descent section of Shattered Throne? Because I don't think I think so. Vorgeth, worse than Erebus to me. I don't think you count traversal sections. Okay, I'll keep it down here. Because Ascent is also a traversal section, right? And then the final boss, I also think is good. Honestly, I like the final boss. It's very quick, very simple, but the mechanics are cool, right? Like you get these swords and you have to do 3 different behaviors to kill 3 different like side enemies to then damage the boss. I think it's cool. I think it's similar to the way that Root of Nightmares sits in the entire panel of Destiny raids at the end of everything. There needs to be an interesting, easy to grasp raid in the game like Root of Nightmares. It's not mind-numbingly boring mechanics. You need to do something, you need to learn something and then replicate that and like maybe progress that like mechanic throughout the raid, but it's still doable for beginners and anyone can do it. I think that Shattered Throne is such a good first solo dungeon situation, so I don't think it's bad. The ledge traversal with boot blights is nightmare fuel. Yeah, this Ascent. Yeah, I'm not gonna rank traversal sections, but I actually do think that it is if I was challenged, like if I could not use Eager Edge or whatever, I probably would take a long time to get through that. We're ranking this by encounter. Yeah, it should go pretty fast, Gam. Ranking a whole raid or dungeon doesn't make any sense to me at all, frankly, because that's like saying Root of Nightmares is an F tier raid. It's not anywhere near an F tier raid for me at all. But the second encounter of Root of Nightmares, Cision, is probably a D tier for me, if not F, where Explicator or Planets is S tier, and I think one of the most fun raid encounters that they've ever designed. And so, like, how do you balance a D or F tier encounter with an A or S tier encounter? It's just not fair to rank a whole raid or a whole dungeon because some encounters, you could see I put every single encounter in Shattered Throne in a different tier. So I think that's the best way to do it. Then we've got, they really do have, they have traversal sections and everything in here. Maybe a traversal tier list would be better. Yeah, we can traversal. Now that I know that he has traversal sections in here as well, we can do that after. Sunder Doctrine was your most enjoyable dungeon in terms of solo flawless. Right. I just joined stream. What's up, Nam? Hello. Hi, Bankai. Okay. Necropolis. Remind me what the fuck Necropolis is. Why am I blanking? Like, I know that this is Pit of Heresy, right? But why do I not remember? No, I know it's Pit, y'all. That's not an explanation at all. I don't recall the first encounter of Pit of Heresy at all. I have no idea what you do in that encounter. This picture's not really helping. The symbols? Oh, get sword, go to a tower. I don't really like this encounter. Very forgettable in my opinion. Kind of reminiscent of this though. This final boss encounter, like finding swords and then doing different things with those swords to kill enemies. But it's worse here. It's D or F for me personally. Tunnels of Despair must be traversal. Chamber of Suffering. I personally think Chamber of Suffering is D. I don't think that one's that good either. However, the final encounter of Pit of Heresy. Oh, wait, I had this all wrong. This, y'all, you didn't even correct me. This is the final boss where you get 3 swords. The 3 swords, like one you have to block, one you do light attacks, one you do heavy attacks, you kill the enemies, you go back, you damage the boss. This is the no rally flag. I've farmed this a billion times. You kill the shadow creatures, then you kill the boss. I don't think that this is a good encounter at all. I think this is a better encounter. Yeah, I think this is better. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm switching those. I got the dungeons mixed up. Once I saw this picture, I was like, okay, but look, they're both pictures of like, this could basically be the same exact fucking room, but this one's in the dark. So I got them mixed up for a second. Okay, Yeah. This one I could say is A or B. This one, hell no. This one's pretty bad. Okay. We'll leave it there for now, but I don't know. Heaven and Hell. Oh, that's like the very, very start. I would not even call that a fucking encounter. Personally. I think it's more traversal. And Phalanx Echo is an encounter. I think that this is a fine encounter. It's pretty quick. Teaches you the light dark mechanic. It's nothing special though. But I'm not gonna like hate on it and say it's shit, but it's also nothing special. So I say sort of middle of the barrel. Vorgith honestly might move down to D. I think I'm being too nice already. Like, is this a B? Am I being too nice to these older dungeons? I don't know. Wasteland is traversal. Hexahedron, I think, is good. Definitely being too nice. Loot equals encounter. Anything that gives you a chest is an encounter. I think Hexahedron is good, but nothing crazy. Yeah, I think so. Muscle Monty, what's up? Hello, hello. Yeah, we were talking about that a little while ago. And then we have Rainbow Road, which is traversal. And then we have Kel Echo, final boss of Prophecy, which I think is fine. I think this boss is good. Right? Am I wrong to say it's A tier? Maybe nothing goes above B for the first couple of dungeons because we're just so power crept now and the mechanics feel so simple. But Hexahedron would be C for me personally because the bosses are too weak. That's fair. It's more of like a traversal encounter where you go up a bunch of floors. Actually, really good point. Good point. Okay. So far, the final boss of Prophecy, the final boss of Pit of Heresy, and the second or the first encounter of Shattered Throne are B tier, but nothing's above a B tier. Do you know what your favorite is? You can find that and put it in S as a baseline. I don't know what my favorite is. I'm not gonna lie. No, I've never done this with dungeons before. I've never really thought about it. I think once they're all up there, I can start to adjust a little bit, but Rusted Gangplank. Do you get a chest from this? No. Right? What's the first thing you get a chest from in Grasp of Avarice? Because I genuinely don't know. I know what the final boss is, and I think it is a... Honestly, the final boss itself, I could put at C or D. I think what saves this final boss is the lead up to it. This Fallen Shield traversal section, I could say is an A. I'm not rating traversal sections right now, but what saves that boss experience is what you just did to get to it, I think. You know? And so there's only two encounters in Grasp, right? Most of it's traversal. Fallen Shield is traversal. The Sparrow racing is traversal. The beginning part's traversal with the loot cave. You just have Greg. Sorry, Bomb Defusal is the Sparrow race. You just have Greg and the final boss. That's it. I think Greg is also fine. Fallen Shield and Sparrow have loot. Do they? Fallen Shield is an encounter. Is this the Sparrow racing section? Or is no, sorry. This is Sparrow racing. This is all of the shooting yourself everywhere. Sparrow has a secret chest that does not count. There's secret chests all over the place in every raid and dungeon. It's specified loot for an actual encounter, not secret. That's like saying the first Equilibrium traversal from first to second encounter of Equilibrium is an encounter because it has a secret chest along the way. Like, secret chests exist, so. Agreed, but Fallen Shield does have loot. I think Fallen Shield is the best thing about Grasp of Avarice. The Portals one has loot. Yeah. So, in my opinion, Fallen Shield is the best thing about Grasp of Avarice. I actually think that the final boss is mid. I think Greg the Ogre is also pretty damn mid. I could maybe put him in B and justify it. But this is the only part of the dungeon where I feel like I'm doing something that... My problem with Grasp of Avarice is that it's unbelievably repetitive. And you could argue this with Fallen Shield as well. Maybe I'll just stick it in B, but I think it's better than the others because you do have to have some sense of direction, some sense of like, oh, where do I go next? You get to platform a little bit. I think that the traversal sections are the best thing about Grasp, and I consider this a traversal section as well. The boss is pick up engrams, dunk them in rock, damage boss. Greg is pick up engrams, dunk them in rock, damage boss. It is the same thing in a different arena with a different boss name. There is nothing interesting about Grasp of Avarice. So, yeah, Fallen Shield B, the two bosses C. Grasp of Avarice is incredibly unimpressive to me, and I think I'm being too nice in general. Like genuinely, I could argue that every single one of these could be an F tier for me, depending on the day. So I'm feeling nice today. I'm feeling like I just did a whole lot of raids in dungeons, and I've got a decent perspective on all of them. And maybe because it's the end of the game as well, I'm feeling a little bit kinder. But yeah, no, thank you. Mindscape though, Mindscape is traversal. Nightmare of Galran is the first encounter of duality, and I think it is good. I like duality. Duality was, but let me just say I have a little bit of bias here because you're being very generous with Grasp. Okay. Everything goes down a tier. Goran or duality in general. Not that I knew who Goran was because the raid was sunset at that point, so I had never seen him as a raid boss. However, Season of the Haunted was my first ever full season of Destiny. I spent months on the Leviathan, gaming my ass off. So many nightmare containments. It was probably unhealthy how much time I spent playing the game. I was addicted to the game. I was so brand new to Destiny. Brand new baby new light. And duality was my first dungeon I ever did. So the first dungeon you ever do is it's a fun experience. So I think Goran gets A tier for that reason from me. Descent is traversal. Vault, I also think is good. I also think Vault is good. Maybe people will hate me for this. Keitel, I also think is good. I just think Duality is a good dungeon. Am I wrong for that? Duality makes you think? I think Duality is interesting. I think it's cool. I think it's. I thought when that shit came out, I loved fighting Keitel. Like, what a baddie! I really liked Season of the Haunted. Season of the Haunted was amazing. Yeah, I think I could argue that maybe one of these could go and be like Vault. Like, I think of the three, Vault is probably the least interesting. I could like get down with a B ranking probably, but in general, I think that Duality deserves flowers. I gotta go earn husband points. Have a great night, everyone. Good night, Obi. Good night, good night, good night. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. Merkaza, thank you for the 175 stream streak. Zach Raz, thank you for the 5 stream streak. Gam, thank you again for the 11-month resub. Keitel A is fine, but Vault would be B for me personally. Duality's feature this week? Yeah, it is. It is. It's a cool concept. Okay, we'll keep Duality ranked higher up there. And then let's see. Spire of the Watcher is next. Spire of the Watcher, reestablish power. Am I wrong to say that all of Grasp of Avarice is D tier? And am I wrong to say Spire of the Watcher first encounter is straight up just an F tier? Reestablish power has no chest? Oh shit, it has no chest? What's the first chest you get? What's the first chest you get in Yes, it does. Y'all are giving me all different answers. Every single person's giving me a different answer. Spire Ascent is the first chest. Okay. F tier. And then this boss, Achilles the Siren's Current, F tier. And then what's next? Persis, C. B, maybe. I don't mind him. I just don't really like being an electrician in the game. I didn't really vibe with the wire connecting thing. I'm probably being a little bit harsh on him. He's probably D tier instead, but I just don't really like this dungeon. I just don't really like this dungeon, but I could like at least you're doing something with the boss. There is a mechanic. It is still connecting wires, but there's like actual threat. I think even to this day, years later, like you can get fucked up in there. You can get fucked up in there. Whereas like I don't feel any threat of death in anything I've ranked so far. You should be able to solo with ease any of these, but I think you do have to do some thinking for the Spire boss. So is it my favorite thing? No. Do I like connecting wires as a mechanic? Not really, but I mean, whatever. It was something new, and so I'm not just gonna throw everything in F tier simply because I hate the dungeon. I think this is fine. I hate Grasp of Avarice significantly more than I hate Spire of the Watcher, and I'd rather run Spire than run Grasp. So, again, I think my favorite parts of Grasp of Avarice are this and this, which are the traversal sections. So, not the encounters, that's for sure. Okay, so also really, really boring naming here. We got Spire Ascent and then Spire Descent.
Yeehaw!
Junior, thank you so much for the 10-month resub. Thank you. How you doing? B tier dungeon, but Season of the Seraph was heat. Dungeon's way lower than B tier for me, but Season of the Seraph was very good. It was, yeah. They tried something new that gets points for me, but was met overall. Yeah, no, fair. Okay, so then we've got Ghost of the Deep. Hive Ritual, D tier, simply because I love reading a good hive symbol. My call-outs are very fucking stupid. I will say this with all of the newer dungeons, all of them, Sunder Doctrine included, right? The first encounters do not need to be this fucking long. 4 rounds of this was way too long, and I was tired of hearing people shit on Ghost of the Deep simply because this first encounter was too long. And then they changed it with Rite of the Nine. They made it significantly better. They decreased the shield and overall health of the final boss. They decreased the length of time it takes to complete the first encounter. And then that only existed for Rite of the Nine, and they were never able to permanently implement any of that into the game. So, for that reason, I gotta give a knock to this encounter, but my heart can't let me put Ghost of the Deep in D tier in any capacity. I love Ghost of the Deep as a dungeon. I think that the lowest that I'm going to allow myself to put this is here in C tier, but even then I'm looking at this and I'm like, I'm saying that the first encounter of Ghost of the Deep is worse than Duality Vault? Because honestly, I'd rather be on Titan and Ghost of the Deep. So I'm just looking at these and I'm saying, would I rather do, like if it's a B tier encounter, I should rather do that encounter over a C tier encounter. Would I rather do Kel Echo over the first encounter of Ghost of the Deep? Maybe. Vault of Duality? Probably not. First encounter of Shattered Throne over first encounter of Ghost of the Deep, I do think is fair. They're both long. They're actually both excruciatingly long, but I do think that this one was just newer to me. I've done it less. And I think that there's the thing. Okay, so here's the distinction. Ghost of the Deep first encounter is really long, and there's not really a way to speed it up too much.
Yeehaw!
The first encounter of Shattered Throne, you can speed up by getting better at it, memorizing where the symbols are, blah, blah, blah. Like, you could probably start zooming through it. So, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that, but... And also, yes, the atmosphere. The atmosphere of Shattered Throne carries hard. Gucci! Ain't no way it's been a year already? Yeah. Isn't that fucking crazy? Happy 1 year. Gucci, thank you so much for the 12-month resub at tier 2. Y'all are the fucking best. Thank you so much. Happy 10 months, Junior. 12 months, Gucci. Day 1 Goes to the Deep. Going in blind was extremely cool. The ship that crashes into Titan's Ocean looks like Savathun's, and that made the looming final shape really dramatic. Yeah. Yeah. Are you considering loot? Oh, no. I'm not ranking the individual guns and perk pools of every single weapon offered in every single encounter now. Not pulling up loot tables or anything like that. That doesn't matter to me. This is ranking the encounters. So, doesn't matter. If Cold Comfort dropped from an encounter but didn't drop from another one, I don't care. Is the encounter good? Is the encounter not good? Loot pool does not matter at all. If we were considering loot, grass would be S tier. Yeah, true. Matador is Luna. Okay. He says Destiny raids. What's up, Bryce? Everything F tier because I don't know what this is. Bryce, Destiny 2 Dungeons and Raids. Okay, so would I rather do final boss of Spire of the Watcher over first encounter of Ghost of the Deep? Nope. So Ghost of the Deep got to be up there still. Now, Ektar. Honestly, cool dude, cool encounter. Beat my fucking ass, y'all, man. When I was solo flawlessing this was my Ghost of the Deep was my first ever solo flawless dungeon. When I was solo flawlessing this, I was losing my damn mind with this man right here. Definitely wrecked me a little bit. So, mad respect. He's cunty, Dak. He is. It's pronounced Luna. Ice Luna, the hand cannon gunslinger. A lot of people say AS Luna, Ice Luna. How did you think it was pronounced? Day One Ghost was probably one of the most memorable and entertaining things I've ever done in the game. Yeah, same. Genuinely. W Ghost of the Deep, man. It gets so much hate. I'm glad that we're not Ghost of the Deep haters here. Okay, skipping the traversal sections.
Yeehaw!
Garrett, thank you for the 13-month resub. Hello. Then we got Bad Bitch. Final boss is a woman. She's A tier. I don't know, man. Ghost of the Deep is just A tier to me. He might be S tier even. We might have our first S tier. I think Ghost of the Deep is better than Duality. But is it wrong to put Ghost of the Deep in S tier? Ektar mechanics are possibly the most fun of any encounter for me. Yeah. He might be my first S tier dungeon encounter. He might be. You hate ghost traversals? I love him. I respect him. Okay. Then we've got Warlord's Ruin. Prison Escape is funny. You do get loot. At Prison Escape, so it is an encounter. It is the shortest dungeon encounter of all time. I actually think it's kind of silly to put it up there with all the other encounters, but you do get loot. I think this is a very fun concept, having to work together to get out of prison type shit. I'm only putting it up there because you get a chest at the end, because we said that we're ranking not traversals, but only things you get loot from, and you do get loot at the end of Prison Escape. Even though that encounter, you could literally do it in under 30 seconds. So while I do think it's silly to put it up there, you do get loot, and that's the rule. Now, this guy you also get loot from. You thought that was a loot from the first boss? Oh, is it? Yep, you're right. You go to prison after the first boss. You know what? Okay. Good call. We'll not rank Prison Escape. We'll rank the first boss. And I think the first boss is a B. I think he's B. You think Rathil and Prison are together? If I ranked them together, they'd be A. If I rank the first boss on his own, he's a B. Second boss, S tier. Third boss, S tier. I love me some Ghost of the Deep and Warlord's Ruin. What a fucking year of releases. What a dungeon year. What a dungeon year. Genuinely, I think the best dungeon content they've ever made. So that's my stance on Warlord's Ruin. And if you disagree, suck my ass, because Ghost of the Deep was so much fun. I would run it right now again. I actually had so much fun running Ghost of the Deep this past weekend. And Warlord's Ruin, I have never declined an invite to do that dungeon. I have found reasons to do that dungeon over the years. So, I just like this dungeon. It's your favorite dungeon? Prison Escape probably refers to the entire traversal. Yeah. Got it. So when I pick up this game, only that dungeon got it. Ghost of the Deep and Warlord's Ruin, the two best dungeons they ever made. I think released the same year, but I could be wrong. Were they both Witch Queen? Or was Warlord's Ruin Lightfall? Duality was Witch Queen. Ghost of the Deep. Actually, don't remember. My favorite Destiny streamer said these are the best. So if you know, you know. Bryce, I appreciate the kind words. Oh, wait. Ghost of the Deep and Warlords were both Lightfall? Did the year of Lightfall have the best dungeon content they've ever made? W Lightfall. Yeah. You're right, actually. Duality was Witch Queen, and then Ghost of the Deep and Warlords should have been both the year of Lightfall. So, Warlords was final shape? I don't think so. I don't think so. No, final shape raid was Salvation's Edge, and then final shape dungeon was Sunder Doctrine. Warlord should have been Lightfall. Final shape dungeon was that was Lightfall was the only year we got to. So, Witch Queen was Duality, Lightfall was Ghost of the Deep and Sunder Doctrine, and then final shape was Ghost of the Deep and Warlord's Ruin. Final shape was Sunder Doctrine. Lightfall or Renegades was Equilibrium. I would have thought Ghost would be Witch Queen. Well, I don't fucking know. We'll have to verify. Now I'm getting all confused. Every single person is saying a different thing. Okay. Warlords or Season of the Witch. No. Harko, Warlords came out after Ghost of the Deep. I don't know the season titles, but they both should have been Lightfall. Warlord's Ruin did not come out post Final Shape. Ghost of the Deep was Season of the Deep, and that's Lightfall year. Okay. Perf. What season was Warlord's Ruin? If it came out after Final Shape, I'd be surprised. Warlords was in D2. Wait, these are huge comms. Big C, thank you so much. Massive fucking comms. Yeah. Perfect. Now I get it. Warlord's Ruin was a dungeon in Destiny 2. Okay. Where were we? Dude, this traversal encounter fucks me, man. Activation. What the hell is this? What the hell is this? Okay, they're making Vespers look really good because this is not what this encounter looks like. At all. But first off, we're putting the Corrupted Puppeteer in F tier because that shit's not, that's not flying with me. I could put second encounter in B tier, and I could put first encounter in, this is honestly the easiest thing I've really, yeah. That's my ranking. First encounter, C tier. I don't think it was bad. I don't think it was like super special, whatever. Could have handled that mechanic for one encounter, but then when it kept going the whole dungeon, you're like, okay, this is Deepstone Crypt, the dungeon. Second encounter, a lot of testicle duplication going on, a lot of balls everywhere. That's a pretty chill mechanic. That's pretty cool. And then final boss, absolute fucking disgrace to the game. And genuinely, like, the fact that they made a cool skybox and they put it on that disgrace of a boss makes me upset for the game. And honestly, I'm very upset that new players have to start playing Destiny and might think Vesper's Host sounds like a cool dungeon, and then they have to do that. Yeah, this is my least favorite dungeon encounter in the game, and I would rather solo flawless Spire of the Watcher 5 times over than ever farm that boss. I really feel that too, and I'm not being dramatic. That is my least favorite encounter in the entire game. And the amount of chances I've given that dungeon too, like, I think I've done Vespers 3 times now in the last month. And every single time I go in being like, now's the time. I'm going to feel differently about this time. I'm going to have fun this time. I'm going to see what everyone else is seeing this time. I think people are genuinely like, I'm worried about you if you like this. It is not good. It is excruciatingly long for no reason. The mechanics are such a slog. The entire boss's floor is lava. Maybe the day 1 experience could have been a little bit cool, but I didn't do the day 1, so I can't speak to that. I'm not ranking any of these based on their day 1 experience, by the way. These are just like replayability and my current thoughts about the dungeon, not their day 1 experience. But yeah, no thank you. No thank you. You can tell that shit deeply hurt her. He corrupted me, literally. I loved Vesper's Host Final Boss as a team, but solo flaws broke me. Never touching Final Boss for Vespers now that I have Icebreaker. Show me on the chart where Vespers touched you. The only reason I love Vespers Final is because of how chaotic it is, but I don't feel that. I go in hoping to feel that, and I don't feel that. I don't think Floor's Lava as a boss mechanic is chaotic. You don't even have the opportunity. It's all about, oh, let's go stand in the corner in the back and well cheese. Let's just put a well here where we know we can't die. Let's stand in this place where we know we can't die, and otherwise we'll just start chaining deaths. In Garden of Salvation, the final boss is a Floor's Lava boss, but you can, if you'd like to, put thought and dedicate people on the team to building platforms so that the boss is not a Floor's Lava floor is lava boss. So with some extra consideration and strategy, you can get yourself out of that situation. Vesper's Host is not chaotic. The radiation noise is god awful. It is such terrible sound design. It is a fucking slog. It wants to be Deepstone Crypt, but it's not. It takes you fucking 10 minutes to get to the final boss damage, and the final boss damage isn't chaotic. It's just the floor is lava. Don't step on the floor, you die. That's not, like, I just don't, it's so uninspired to me. It's such a cop out of a mechanic, and the mechanics themselves to get there are literally Deepstone Crypt. Like, okay, you get scanner, I get operator. We already fucking did this years ago in a raid. Okay, let's just do this all dungeon long. Literally all dungeon long. And then we'll just call it like a lab theme. We'll call it sciencey. That's not fucking science. The lab theme is uninspired. All of the walls are bland. There's absolutely no design inspiration there. I think it's the least inspiring work that Bungie has ever put out. I feel so fucking passionate about this dungeon. Like, I fucking hate Vesper's Host, and if Vesper's Host has no haters, I died. So, why are you mad? Garden of Salvation boss is so much better. Yes, and do you know what it takes for me to compliment Garden of Salvation? Because Garden of Salvation, up until maybe 2 days ago, was my least favorite raid in the game. I'm not a Garden of Salvation enjoyer at all. For me to sit here and try to tell you, maybe to someone who's never done these raids and dungeons, you'd maybe come out of this thinking Garden of Salvation boss is good. That speaks wonders to how much I hate Vesper's Host. Let's just hold up. Let me just look up Vesper's Host final boss room. Okay, we're just gonna look at some images. No, not the skybox. I mean like the mechanics. Here we go. So this is what it looks like when you're doing mechanics. Nope, I don't want that. I just want the image. Hold up. Image in new tab. Okay. This is what it looks like when you're spending the sloggiest time of your life doing mechanics. In Vesper's Host final boss, you're looking at white walls, white ceilings, white columns, white floors. It's so plain in the name of it being a lab. I do not believe that a sciencey or lab feel, like a research lab feel in a sci-fi game, has to be sterile and bland. It's fantasy. I've spent a lot of time in my life in a lab. I'm a scientist. There's beakers and it's sterile and it's clean everywhere because that's not fucking sci-fi. That's an actual lab that I'm sitting in. I don't need to be in an FDA lab in my sci-fi game. This is just boring. This is just, I threw this together and they did not spend any fucking time on this in comparison to, you look at something like Ghosts of the Deep, Sunder Doctrine, that is actually inspired design in my opinion. That's like saying Deepstone Crypt is inspired. It's a similar vibe. I don't like how plain that shit is. It's not giving sci-fi to me. It's giving, I didn't really have time to think about what direction the Bray Labs would take in this game. What would they actually look like in this game? Like, what would a sci-fi version of this like research sciencey lab vibe feel like? This is just sterile. There's absolutely no fucking art here at all. And the entire dungeon is a replication of Scanner Operator from Deepstone Crypt the raid. So correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the only dungeon in the game that takes a raid mechanic and copy and paste it into a raid like design, like a style, an art style, and then calls it a separate dungeon. Sunder Doctrine is not a replica of a raid. Ghost of the Deep is not a replica of a raid. Duality is not a replica of a raid. Spire of the Watcher is not a replica of a raid. This is just Deepstone Crypt Mini. All Braytech aesthetics are the same. I know, and I think they're bad. Do you hate all Clovis aesthetics? Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. I don't like the lab vibe in D2. Yeah. So that's my albeit pretty passionate take on Vesper's Host. I couldn't tell you, at first glance, is this Vesper's Host or is this Atrax? Close up this wall. Is this over here Atrax? Am I gonna kill a little fucking servitor over here and over here, or is this Vesper's Host? You wouldn't fucking know because it's copied and pasted. So, yeah, it's just completely uninspired. It's so uninspired. Bungie could do so much better than this, and I get upset with them. These pictures are so uggo. I know it's bad quality, but it's not like you're missing anything because it's a white wall, white columns, white floor, white ceiling, white objects. That's it. That is it. That's the art. This is the final boss room as well. So, is the skybox fantastic? Yeah, traversal sections are the best thing about Vesper's Host because you get to see the cool skybox. I think the traversal sections are the best thing about Deepstone Crypt as well. I do like Atrax. I like her, but I think traversal is the best thing about Deepstone Crypt. The beginning traversal section can be really fun. It's very different compared to anything else in the game. Deepstone Lullabies probably, I mean, arguably the best song ever written for Destiny in franchise history. So I like Deepstone Crypt. I think it's carried by traversal in a lot of ways, and I could see why people have like an affinity for it because how could you not want to get to that traversal section? Like you just kind of get excited to get to it. But Vesper's Host Skybox being the most interesting thing about it does not warrant anything except for F tier for me. And honestly, now that I just went on that rant about it, I was way too fucking nice. The second boss is a C, and the first boss is a first boss. No, not a boss. The first scanner operator handoff is F tier, and so is the final boss. And that's where I stand. And this second boss, the testicle duplication boss, is lucky to be in C tier, honestly, because it deserves worse than that overall. Deepstone Lullaby is definitely the best song in Destiny, period. Gam, thanks for stopping by. I hope Spider-Man's good. I've heard nothing but good things about it. The classic horror elements of Vesper's Host are the cool parts, not the Braytech. Yeah, and I know some people love the Braytech vibe. I just don't love the Braytech vibe. And the last time that I said that I don't like that, someone was like, well, you're a scientist. Like, how do you not like the lab vibe? And I actually thought about that. I thought about why don't I like the lab vibe in Destiny? Like, wouldn't you think I would love the lab vibe? Because like W Labs, W Science, I love science. But maybe that's why I don't like them, because I'm like, this is not sci-fi. I don't feel like anything about the lab vibe in D2 is fantasy. Everything else is fantasy. We're fucking guardians defending a fucking solar system. We've got the Witness and this fucking traveler orb that we fucking worship, and we have Ghost, and everything is so fantasy related. All of the enemy types are so fantasy driven. All of the hive lore, honestly, all of the enemy races have their own very, very fantasy driven lore. And then we've got like these research labs that are just completely sterile in Deepstone Crypt and in Vespers and in just Braytech aesthetic in general. And I think it's the least creative part of Destiny. Okay. But maybe that's just me having spent too much time in labs because they look like they do in Destiny. Okay. Sundered Doctrine solved the riddle. This first encounter suffers the same fate in my eyes as other first encounters in this game, like Ghost of the Deep first encounter. Wait, what was the other one that I was thinking of that was way too damn long? Which first encounter was way too damn long? No, maybe I am thinking of Sundered Doctrine. I think it's way too damn long. First encounter of Sundered is too long. I think they fixed that with Equilibrium. I never felt like the first encounter of Equilibrium was too long. First encounter of Equilibrium felt like they were really mixing things up. And I actually really, really like Equilibrium. Thought they were going in a really good direction with dungeon design. Genuinely. So Sundered Doctrine for me, just because it's like too fucking confusing and it's too long. I don't want to do it 3 times. 1 time, 2 times maybe I could like get behind, but it's just too long. So I think it's worse for me than Ghost of the Deep. Maybe a high D. Like I like the lore bits. It's a very unique design, but I can't really get behind it personally. And then we've got Lockset. I'm sorry, but Lockset is a D for me, not because of its potential. I actually think it's a really, really cool design. I love the art style of this dungeon. Please picture in your head the fucking sterile ass white everything that I showed you in the lab, and then look at Lockset's picture. I mean, it's so cool. The design is so inspired. So I like Lockset's vibe. Unfortunately, you can just cheat the fucking encounter. You could just fly through the encounter without any thought about the actual mechanic at all, and they never fixed it. And maybe it was never meant to be fixed, but Lockset is so cheesable that I can't take it seriously. It's just like it's immediately a D for me. If you're good at Thunder Doctrine, you can knock the first encounter out so quick. Now that I'm in Warframe, it makes me realize how lazy Destiny can be. I think that that's such an unfair statement. So much of Warframe is inspired by Destiny. I you don't put two entirely different games against each other. Cook Dino, what's up? Junior, hello. Hi, Cooked. Reese Under Doctrine, I love knowing the story helps solve the mechanics. Yeah. Yeah, the boss is a tragic figure who uses neopronouns and air backstory makes me cry. Well, I was gonna put the final boss at like S or A. That's like why I actually think that this let's see. Where is it at? Oh, Karev. I think that this is one of the I really, 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 really enjoy this encounter. Unfortunately, because of how easily you can cheese Lockset, I don't like Lockset as much. If we're talking about Lockset legit, then maybe I could argue for a C, but I don't love and because I put the first encounter of Ghost in C, I could also argue for this being in C. Again, I think it's unique. I like the art design. I can get behind. I think it's a little too long, but I also think this is a little too long. Okay, so maybe they deserve to be on the same tier. Lockset's just so cheesy. Final boss, though. Very, very good final boss, in my opinion. Kevin is fun. Yeah. Lucky! Hello, Lucky. Hi. Why are y'all all gambling your gators again, as usual? Cheesing Lockset's really unfortunate. Yeah, otherwise an epic encounter. Yeah, exactly. I actually don't know if I've ever done it legit, even though I know how to. Like, I do. It's so cheesable. But I don't know whether to rank it legit or not, because when I rank Riven cheesed is F tier to me. It's like, oh my god, that's blasphemous. You can't do that to Riven. Riven legit, one of the best encounters Bungie's ever made in the entire franchise history. So Riven legit is epic. Riven cheese, meh. We're addicted to gator gambling. Frigid Tomb from Beyond Light's my second favorite Destiny song. I don't know if I know that one like just by name. I'd have to hear a clip of it. Okay, so we only have one more dungeon left to do, and then we move on to raids. So we've got, where's it at? Equilibrium. We have Temple Grounds, which is the Sparrow area. Oh no, wait, y'all. What's the encounter on Equilibrium? What's the Equilibrium encounter called? The first encounter. Is it Temple Grounds? I think it might be Temple Grounds. Omni Slash, what's up? Hello. Temple Grounds for me, honestly, I never thought I'd be saying this because I fucking hate the Star Wars LARPing. I actually think it might be an S tier. I think that they fixed all of the issues that I had with the direction that first encounters in dungeons were going, where they were just like sloggy and too long. This is fun. I actually think the first encounter for Equilibrium is fun. And not too long at all. Then maybe B, just because like it's hard to say that a first encounter is A, and then where is the next one? Haro is a C for me. Nothing too special. Actually, I like his final stand. I like that final stand. The doors open. Is he a B? Is Judge and Apprentice a B? Am I an Equilibrium cocksucker? Omni Slash, I hope you're doing well too. I think he's a B. Yeah. Okay. And then final boss, Dredge and Sare. Where's he at? Dredge and Sare. S tier? Am I wrong for saying that? Is it A tier? Is Dredge and Sare A tier? Maybe A tier. They made pushing him into a whole legit mechanic, which is so fun. I know. Isn't that so cool? Yeah, Equilibrium is really, really good and fun, y'all. I don't know if I've said that before, like actually just thinking about it and looking at all of them. Big picture. So this might be my final dungeon ranking. We've got second boss of Ghost of the Deep, second and third boss of Sunder Doctrine, and final boss, hold up. Second encounter of Ghost of the Deep, second and final encounter of Warlord's Ruin, final encounter of Sunder Doctrine, and final encounter of Equilibrium in S tier. Which means overall, over the trajectory of the game, I think that their encounter design for dungeons got better with time, because these are a lot of the later dungeons in the game. A tier, Duality, first encounter, and third encounter. So first and final, Garan and Keitel. I love Duality. It was my first dungeon in the game, so maybe I've got a little bit of emotional bias there, but that's how I feel about Duality. It's still fun to this day. I would still teach new players it to this day. I don't feel like it's a slog or something that I dread doing. I think it's a fun dungeon overall. And then final boss of Ghost in A for me, I could move her to B because of how much of a pain in the ass she is, and her health bar was way too large for too long, but now she fucking falls over. So I think that you see the dungeon for what it is without the gigantic health bar, and it's like a very, very fun final encounter where you actually have to think, and soloing it is difficult. I think Ghost of the Deep in Vesper's Host might be the hardest solo flawlesses. Like, I think Ghost of the Deep is a more of a pain in the ass to solo flawless than Warlord Druid. But maybe they're around the same. I don't know. And then we've got first encounter of Equilibrium in A tier as well. Alexis, hey again. Hey. Then we've got second encounter Equilibrium, final encounter of Prophecy, second encounter of Duality, which I would feel free to move this into C tier as well. It's mad to me. Like, the other encounters of Duality are so much better than Vault in my opinion. First encounter of Shattered Throne, straight aura. I think it's pretty fun and something that you can get better at with more skill as you learn the encounter. Final encounter of Pit of Heresy, and first encounter of Warlord Druid in B tier. Hi, Technofuzz. Hi. It's like Alia Mom Solo Flawless Equilibrium. I remember that. That wasn't her fault, though. That was chat's fault. Alexis, I'm feeling good. I mean, my foot is fucked, but I'm feeling good. I hope you are, too. Also, if you or anyone you know in Pittsburgh, I put this in the hockey channel in the Discord, but you're like the first person that comes to mind when I think of Pittsburgh, even though I know we have quite a few Pittsburgh friends here. If you or anyone you know like has a specific Penguins game that you want to go to, I have season tickets, so I will just give them to you at like face value instead of, I'm just like reselling every single one of them pretty much, except for the couple that I'll go to, but I'm upcharging them when I sell them on like Ticketmaster or whatever, because they take a bunch of fees. But if you or like any of your friends want to go to a game, just like let me know. I have really, really, really good seats. So, Live the Ticketmaster. Well, I'm not charging you fees. You could just have the ticket for what I paid for it, and then I transfer it. I'll think about it, Liv. Wait, Lucky, are you near Pittsburgh? You better fucking go to a Penguins game. I didn't know that you live near Pittsburgh. You don't live near Pittsburgh. Anyway, Pittsburgh tangent aside. C tier. I know you probably already said, but did the doc say the foot was broken? No. Hairline fracture and a stretched ligament. I won't need surgery unless I push it. I'll drive for that. Dude, the vibes of the Penguins games are so fun. They're so fun. Don't you live in Chicago? Yes. Yeah. Why you asked me that question? You know the answer to that question. C tier. First encounter of Ghost of the Deep. First encounter of Sundered Doctrine. Second encounter of Prophecy. First encounter of Prophecy. Last encounter of Spire of the Watcher, and second encounter of Vesper's Host. All C tier. Not special in my head. Not something I like shit on. You know, they're not terrible, but they're not something to like brag about. Something I'd be excited to show a new light. So they're like just mid. They're just mid. All could improve in some way in my eyes. Whether it be they're just way too damn long, or like the mechanics could be a little bit more exciting. In the eyes of like the final boss of Spire the Watcher, I think I'm even being a little bit too kind and calling it mid, but I can see the vision. I just don't like connect the wires, the mechanic personally. And the final boss of Spire deserves a higher ranking than the other encounters, I think. So D tier, we've got second encounter Pit of Heresy, second and final encounter of Shattered Throne. They're all like below average, like not good. Fallen Shield and Greg in Grasp of Avarice. I do not like Grasp of Avarice. And the final boss of Grasp of Avarice. So the entire Grasp of Avarice dungeon is in D tier for me. Whoopsies. Second encounter, Spire the Watcher, and honestly, I could put it in F. I'd have no issue moving this second boss to F tier, and I fucking might. I might. And then Lockset, Not because it didn't have potential. I think Lockset has a lot of potential. I think it's a beautiful encounter in terms of like art style. It's just so cheesed, and it's been cheesed since the second that the shit came out, and you don't have to do anything to complete this encounter at all. F tier, only a few that I put in F tier. F tier dungeon encounters for me are first encounter Pit of Heresy, dog shit. Spire Ascent, dog shit. Activation, which is the first encounter of Vesper's Host, dog shit. Puppeteer, which is the final encounter of Vesper's Host. I don't even have a word for it. What's worse than dog shit? I'm going to need something significantly worse. Y'all know how I feel about this encounter. Not good. So that's my very, very final Destiny 2 dungeon encounter tier list. Fallen Shield is F. Holy moly, so boring. You know what? Sure. I felt like I was being too mean to Grasp of Avarice, putting the entire thing in D tier. So it felt like harsher to put any of them in F tier. But listen, the D F tier could really be merged. Like if something is in D tier in my eyes, with the exception of Lockset, it could be deleted from the game for all I give. Like they're just not good in my eyes. Again, Lockset, potential. If it could not be cheesed, it'd be up there in like B tier. But all of the rest of them, get them out of here. What was S tier again? S tier is Ektar, so second encounter Ghost of the Deep, Locus of Wailing Grief, and the final boss. So second and third encounter of Warlord Druin. Love Warlord Druin. Love Ghost of the Deep. Final encounter of Sunder Doctrine. I think it's the best part of the dungeon. And then final encounter of Equilibrium. I think Equilibrium was a really solid dungeon as well. Overall, my highest rated dungeons across all three encounters are Duality, Ghost of the Deep, Sunder Doctrine, Equilibrium. Because Warlord Druin. I keep saying Sunder Doctrine for Warlord Druin. So Duality, Ghost of the Deep, Warlord Druin, Equilibrium. Those are the highest rated ones. Because Sunder Doctrine has too big of a discrepancy between its best and worst encounter in my eyes. So it doesn't count as one of the best. Warlords is the best dungeon, but not my fave per se. So that's fair. Grasp is fun. Everyone's got different preferences. Some people love Vesper's Host. What's up, Anubis? Good night, live in chat. I'm sick. Going to bed. Have a good stream. Cypher, I really hope you feel better really, really soon. Being sick fucking sucks. Good night, Cypher. Thanks for hanging out with us. I hope you feel better tomorrow. A Lone Star, thank you for the 3 streak. Bullets Chase, hello, hello. All right, this is it. That's the final ranking. Let's reset this bitch. How do I reset this? Is there a way for me to reset it? There is. Hell yeah. Okay, we're resetting this, and then now we're doing raids. So if we're looking at raids only, let's see. Where does it start, y'all? Why is it doing Vault of Glass first? I think I'm going to be faster on raid encounters because I don't have to think about them as much. First encounter of Vault of Glass, dog shit. I'm like, dog shit. It could be a lot better. I'm going to be kind of harsh on raids. And then, where is it at? Confluxes. Mid. Actually, wait. Oracles, I think, are mid. Confluxes are D tier. Oracles are mid. And then I wish I could get rid of a lot of these. I don't want these here. Like at all. I just want raid encounters. Fuck. It's the first raid ever, so that's a bit harsh, Liv. I know, but like I think that's fair. It's fair to say that like compared to what we get now, I mean, there's so much progression over the years from old raids to new raids. Gorgon's Maze. Wait, no, Templar. Templar is going to be an encounter with loot. Templar's cheesed as fuck, so it's a D tier for me. And then final encounter of Vault of Glass Atheon is a B tier. Maybe even an A tier. I like oracles. I like the noise. I like the sound design of oracles. Wait, which one is it? Is it oracle or oracles or confluxes where you have 7 and you have to like everyone's got to call which ones they see and you have to shoot them in order? Which one is that? Oracles? Okay, yeah, so Oracles is up there for me. Atheon's up there, but this raid does not compare at all to raids of present day. Vault of Glass versus Salvation's Edge? Not even fucking close. Not even fucking close. Warden Games, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the community. King's Fall is still good? It is, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, some of them hold up, in my opinion, today, and some of them don't. And Vault of Glass is one of them. Will I do Vault of Glass? Yes. Do I think it's a good beginner raid? Yes. But is it a great beginner raid? In my opinion, no. Because if someone showed me this as a beginner and said this is what raiding in Destiny 2 is like, I'd be like, I'll play a different game. I'll play a different end game. If someone showed me Root of Nightmares and said, here's your introduction to raiding in Destiny, I'd say, hell yeah, I'm in. I just think it's prettier. It's a little bit more complex. I don't think Vault of Glass aged all that well. Vault of Glass is a glorified public event. Yeah. Back then it transcended the game. Yes. And it's got a very important place in the game. I get it. You have to start somewhere. And what I'm saying is they've progressed so much since then. It'd be stupid of me to be like, oh yeah, standing on plates and shooting enemies is S tier. Like, no, I could see the emotional attachment to the first ever raid, especially if you've been playing Destiny since day one and that was your first raiding experience. Totally get that. For me, that's not the case. And so I can say clearly, like, this raid does not hold up to newer raids. Mac, what's up? Hello, hello. Psychopulse, hello, welcome. Thanks for following. Vesper is a fun dungeon. Final boss and traversal between servitors, and final is awful. Final boss takes too long to get to damage. Damage is an awful setup, although cool. It's hard enough to stay alive against puppets, let alone adding lightning. Sorry for interrupting raid portion. Did you hear me talk about Vespers? Like, genuinely. If you didn't, please go back in my VOD about 8 to 10 minutes ago. I had a whole rant about Vespers host. If you did not hear it, I think you'll like it. I think you'll like it because I couldn't agree more. That encounter is straight fucking dog shit trash. That shit is horrific. I fucking hate that encounter. In fact, it is my least favorite encounter in the entire game. So, Psychopulse, welcome in. Thanks for following. Okay, now, so that was Vault of Glass. What is next? You'd knock Oracles down to D as well as Atheon to C. This is the first thing I'm ranking, so they very well could move. Very well could move down. I'm like trying to spread them out a little bit because I think the curve here is like Atheon is the best, Raise the Spire is the worst. So we've got like a little bit of a spectrum here. If I need to move them, I absolutely will, because Atheon is not better than a lot of other encounters, you know? So, okay. What came after Vault of Glass? What came after Vault of Glass? Oh, and by the way, we're not doing traversal sections, so I'm skipping stuff like Gorgon's Maze. Oh wait, we didn't do Gatekeepers. Holy fuck, there's so many encounters in this raid. Gatekeepers is D tier for me. Why could it not have just been combined with Atheon? Been a more Gatekeepers is just like fucking prep work. Whatever. I don't like Gatekeepers. Then we've got Rhoda. The Stills. People are literally gonna hang me at the fucking... No, y'all are gonna hang me. I actually really, really like this encounter. I think first encounter of Crota's End is a B tier, and here's why. People say, oh, I love Vesper's host. It's so chaotic. And the chaos they're describing is dying to lava or like the most boring mechanic ever. I think that the first encounter of Crota's End is actual chaos. And from someone who Sherpas raids, and like in reality, I could put this at a C. You know, it's nothing special. I don't hate it at all. But for me, it's like a low B, high C situation. And I'm explaining why. As someone who Sherpas raids, you do have to understand that Crota's End was my first ever day one raid experience. So like I hold it close to my heart for that reason. I was put through the ringer in this raid because I was a brand new baby Destiny player, had just started playing during Witch Queen. This was my first time stepping into a day one raid experience. And of course I was getting bent over by it, right? So I will always love Crota for that reason. Staying up for like 30 something fucking hours. Okay. But, and that got me hooked. Like I never missed a day one after that. This first encounter, when you are teaching people Crota's End, typically in every other raid in the game, you start with like baby mechanics, nothing special. You're teaching them like one tiny little thing. And if they can get through the first encounter, you know, every encounter afterward. Even in the hardest raid in the game, something like Salvation's Edge, first encounter, second encounter, third encounter, they're really easy and they start ramping up in difficulty. And then, you know, fourth and fifth encounter are really, really, really difficult. Final boss might be the most difficult part of most raids. I genuinely believe wholeheartedly the most difficult part of Crota's End when you're taking a bunch of newbies through is the first encounter. And if they can get through the first encounter, they can get through the entire raid. And I love hearing people's perspective on Crota's End when they do it for the first time and they were like, oh, the first encounter was the most chaotic part. Because teaching people to not get hit by those swinging things that are right in front of their fucking face is hilarious to me, because somehow like you know, people just die to it over and over and over again when they start. It's complete chaos the entire time, looking for like the donking stations. If you miss one, the entire encounter's fucked and you have to wipe. You can't mess anything up, and you're on a strict time clock. And when you're bringing a bunch of newbies through for the first time and you're trying to Sherpa them through the raid and teach them the mechanics, it's so funny to me. So I think that Crota's End first encounter gets hated on for all of the reasons that I like it. It's complete chaos. The only hate that I could get aligned with is the fact that Destiny players don't want to feel slow. So the fact that you're slowed the whole encounter is annoying to some people. However, to that I say, have you ever heard of a fucking grapple? Have you ever heard of an eager edge? And eager edge is even threatening because if you eager edge in the wrong spot at the wrong time in the first encounter, you will connect to an enemy and you will die, or you'll fall in these giant holes in the ground. It's fucking hilarious. It's so chaotic the whole time. You actually have to be thinking about where you're going, where you're stepping. You can't just be flying everywhere. Even experienced Destiny players, you actually have to think about where you're going and why. And for that reason, I think that the first encounter of Crota's in D2 is better than in D1 and doesn't deserve the hate that it gets. I'm keeping it in B. Couldn't tell you how many LFG groups die in this encounter. I know, Reckless. It's actual chaos. It's actual chaos. Wrath of the Machine is your favorite raid? Wrath of the Machine was great. Try hard. There's a really fun way to do Master Abyss Challenge where you skip to the end and 3 people run through it backwards, and it's so much fun. I could farm that for hours. Yeah. I hate the stills in D2 where eager edge swords exist.
Yeehaw!
Fair, E-dubs. Fair. E-dubs, welcome to the chat, by the way. He said F Max. Respect. Look, you don't have to love Crota, just like some people love Vesper's Host, and I don't like Vesper's Host. Crota is my hear me out. Crota's End is my like, okay, hear me out. This raid is good. And I know that when I'm talking about it, most people will disagree with me, and I'm okay with that. This is my hill that I'm dying on. And if this is my final Destiny 2 tier list for the end game, I will not let myself go down without speaking my truth about Crota's End. And it's that it's overhated and that it's really funny to teach people this raid. It's one of my favorite raids to Sherpa. And if the first encounter being the hardest encounter and then it's sort of getting easier with time, I think is like kind of funny. You like just put people, you just go balls deep first encounter in Crota's End. How do game? Thank you so much for the 13-month resub. Thank you. I hope you're doing well today. E-dubs high again. Dark Laws, fuck your take. Crota's all F garbage. It's not even a raid. It is a raid. It is a raid, especially bridge encounter. That is a classic raid encounter. It's reprised, so it's not like they built it in the D2 era. If that was a built raid from scratch, it would have been a hell of a lot more complex. But Crota's End Bridge is one of my favorite raid encounters in the game. And I mean that. That is a raid encounter. Your Ute is a raid encounter. You got to have one person on scout. You have to have Chalice rotation down. Day one, everything one-shot you. You had to have really good ad clear in that encounter. So, yeah, no, I don't. Crota himself is the most dog shit encounter in the raid. And again, I think that's kind of funny. Crota himself, the final boss of Crota's End, is a strike. Once you get through everything else, you're like, Crota's End isn't introducing any. Crota himself is not introducing any new mechanics. Nothing special. But I think people forget it's a reprisal. And like I said, some of the reprisals hold up better than others. In my opinion, King's Fall holds up the best. Crota's End in the middle, and Vault of Glass at the bottom. I don't think Vault of Glass holds up well at all. But if we're talking about these old ass D1 raids that just got reprised into D2, I'm not holding Crota's End up to the same standard that I'm holding Salvation's Edge to. And I'm not holding Vault of Glass to that same standard either, because Atheon is sitting in here in B tier when Atheon doesn't come anywhere close to the difficulty of a Desert Perpetual boss. Not even fucking close. So, different standards for reprisals, of course. King's Fall is the only reprisal that's good. Yeah, that's why. I mean, I just said I think it holds up the best of the three. D1 Crota was a lot better than D2 Crota, and that could be your opinion, and I respect that opinion. My opinion is that I love D2 Crota. Ace Man, thank you for the 105 stream streak. How to Game, thank you again for the 13-month resub. I actually like the raid, first one I ever completed, so I got the vault nostalgia. Exactly. I love that no matter how much power creep we've gotten, Featherlight remains one of the hardest and rarest triumphs in the game. Yeah, like Crota's End. I think people who hate Crota's End do the same hate train that they hate that people do to Garden of Salvation. Because, like, I can admit to jumping on a hate train for Garden of Salvation and thinking it's funny to, like, you know, sometimes it's funny to just be like, oh my God, Gambit the raid, like, it's so dog shit, right? And then Garden of Salvation enjoyers are like, you overhate that raid. People overhate the actual shit out of Crota's End. The actual shit out of it, because there actually is nothing challenging about Garden of Salvation. It is Gambit. It is getting moats and dunking them. It is more about its traversal section and its skyboxes and its environment than the actual encounter itself. You've got a Flora's Lava-esque boss, but better than Vesper's host, Flora's Lava. Nothing about Garden of Salvation is exceptional raid design at all. Literally at all. You step in pools and you chain yourself the whole entire time and you play Gambit. Like, that's the raid. And I think you can still love that raid, but to say that Crota's End is not a raid, but then say Garden of Salvation is one, or Vault of Glass is one. Vault of Glass is a strike. Garden of Salvation could be a strike, and some of Crota's End could be a strike. I don't think that inherently makes them dog shit, but it just shows how much more complex raids have gotten over time. Okay. So first encounter of Crota's End is going in B for the reasons I just described. Cross the bridge. Y'all are gonna hate me for this one. Iryut and Crota. So like I said, Crota, Garden is a strike. The trio duo for the raid is hilariously fun, but I still love Garden. But like, yeah, have you ever tried low manning Crota? Because that shit is fun. That shit is fun. And sometimes the reprised raids, the older raids, the low manning is the fun in them at this point. Like, a 6-man version of them is never going to be as enticing as a low man challenge. Crota was a Nepo son of Oryx. Shouldn't be a difficult encounter lore-wise. It works. I think Crota's a ton of fun. Yeah. King's Fall's longer prize. That's good. You have to wait around a lot in Crota, where that's not the case in Garden, for sure. Yeah. So on day one you couldn't, and I think the difficulty just fell off way too hard outside of day one. In day one Crota's End, no one's standing around. You had to actually have really good ad clear, a lot of champs, a lot of ad density. But Garden came right after Last Wish. Bungie went the easy route when it came out because they didn't want another Last Wish, but they messed up because it was buggy. Yeah, for sure. So my Crota's End ranking is Bridge is my favorite encounter. Iryut, I also think, has good raid design. It does. I think the difficulty could be ramped up across the board for Crota's End, but this raid holds a special place in my heart. And again, Dark Loss, I just think that argument's like illegitimate, right? You're making excuses for Bungie and saying Crota's not a raid, but Garden is not a raid. By your exact logic, Garden of Salvation is not a raid. So, and you won't hear me shitting on Garden of Salvation today. I actually had a lot of fun doing it this past weekend, and I think I've got a little bit of a different perspective on it now. But Garden of Salvation is easier than Crota's End. And I could do Garden of Salvation in my sleep. But I love coordinating a Crota's End Sherpa because you cannot get through that first encounter. You cannot get through that first encounter of Crota without chaos, with a bunch of newbies. Literally nothing about Garden of Salvation is ever threatening in any way, shape, or form. It is Gambit and chain people together a little bit. Maybe chaining people together gets a little bit chaotic if people aren't there at the right time or whatever, but pretty easy fixes in Garden and a very, very, very good beginner raid. I think the best beginner raids in the game are Root of Nightmares, Garden of Salvation, and then Vault of Glass. I really don't like Vault of Glass all that much, but they're really good beginner raids. Crota's up there. I just think that like of all the beginner raids, putting someone into Crota first and being like, here's the first encounter, good luck, that's funny. Like, because the first encounter of Crota is not... it requires a lot of awareness of what's going on around you or you will die. And the more reses that pile up in the back, the more people that have to go back for reses, the more likely you are to miss a dunking station. Everything starts falling apart so fast. Your timers run out quickly. I mean, the amount of times that people wiped on encounter 1 of Crota's End, longtime Destiny streamers like Dato's group, Cross's group, everyone was struggling day 1 with Crota first encounter. Because it's a pain in the ass encounter. I think that's funny. Okay, so what is next? That's Crota for me, obviously. Me and Crota smash, in my opinion. I love Crota's End, genuinely. And then where is the next one? What is the next one? Is this King's Fall? Okay. King's Fall, first encounter. C, B, I don't fucking know. No. Everybody getting crotated. I like the part where squirrels found the secret chest after the first boss in Garden. The only thing I don't like about Crota is the first encounter and being slow. From then on, it's fine. Yeah. I like the challenge, though, of, like, I use an eager edge sword and grapple in that first encounter, but if you eager edge mindlessly, you're going to eager edge into a hole or connect to an enemy that you don't see, so. But yeah. See, it's long. Yeah, I think Hall of Souls should be, if Hall of Souls and King's Fall was shorter, it'd be B tier for me. Because of its length, it's probably a high C. It's like nothing crazy, nothing I hate at all. It's just sort of in that mid range. There's a lot of stuff in front of my face. I wish I could like clear some out. What's the second encounter of King's Fall called? This is ship traversal. Is it totems? Yeah, it's totems. So totems for me. This is so sucky because War Priest Pantheon is exactly what King's Fall should have. Totems and War Priest should be combined for the rest of time. I will not hear any arguments on that matter. War Priest was actually made into a desirable encounter, and I'm going to say the same exact thing about Morgeth. Morgeth should be the way that Morgeth is in Pantheon for the rest of time. Because if Pantheon didn't come out, and didn't make War Priest a better encounter, I'd probably be looking at Totems and War Priest in King's Fall now and being like, that is good. Totems and War Priest are good. But I actually don't think they're good anymore. I was shown the light. War Priest Pantheon 2.0, I think, is one of the best encounters in the game. It's probably like my top 10 encounters in the game. I think they did so fucking good with Pantheon 2.0. They made Morgeth meaningful. They made War Priest meaningful. And I really, really, really like the new War Priest. And for that reason, Totems on its own can't be higher than a C for me, I don't think. Top 3 encounters in the game. Wait, which one? Pantheon 2.0 War Priest, or are you talking about Totems? Limiting my mobility in a game that has good mobility is frustrating rather than compelling redesign. If anything, I would have preferred if you had to be really fast and you're actively getting chased by a one-shot boss. You could push the boss away through lighting lamps. Yeah, that's fair tech. Yeah. To be fair, like it's a reprised version of the same exact thing that happens in D1. So. But I don't disagree with you. I think that idea is better than the one they made. I just don't mind the slow because I'm never slowed in that encounter, really ever. I like the lamps. I teach it the proper way. We do the encounter. I'm not really like ever at 10 stacks. And like the challenge of the encounter is do not ever reach 10 stacks slow. That is the encounter challenge. So it's like you're almost not supposed to if you do it correctly. Pantheon War Priest up there with Pantheon Rogue for me. Oh, I agree with you, Rob. Okay. I thought you were talking about regular totem.
Drink up, bitch, it's hydrate time.
Thank you for the burp, Zip. Thank you. I'm hydrating. Okay. I think it's more interesting when they limit mobility and prevent us from using all the movement we have. Okay. Yeah, so Totems is C for me because War Priest Pantheon is just so much better. And then we've got What else? What else? What else? Oh my gosh, I'm like losing it. War Priest. War Priest on his own. Is this a B tier for me? I don't know. I really, really, really like King's Fall. I really like King's Fall, but War Priest Pantheon is just so much better. Does this have the Pantheon encounters on it? It does! Okay, let's do this now then. War Priest Pantheon, S tier. War Priest and Totems on their own, mid. I'm not going to put D or F because I think King's Fall is a really good raid. So they're just mid. But like War Priest Pantheon is S tier for me. This has literally everything. Traversal encounters, Pantheon, everything that Bungie has ever released in Raider Dungeon form. It even has like Leviathan and stuff. It has all of the Sunset raids as well. But okay. Now we're on Golgoroth. Golgoroth B tier? I think Golgi's good. I think it's fun. I think good design. I like the little balls that you have to burst, and then they're like the cum pools you have to stand on, and then you have like you have to transition the gaze and stuff. It's a good encounter. Totems should be higher than War Priest IMO, but they're boring on their own. Now that I've been shown the light of them combined, I think they're boring on their own. I want totems to have even higher risk. I have to travel further, and I want them to connect to War Priest. I think that that's so cool. And I think that putting War Priest Pantheon in S tier sort of makes up for the fact that they're in C tier on their own. Do you have a link to the tier list? Absolutely, yeah. I can drop it in the chat once I'm done. Josh. Welcome to the chat, by the way. It's Bozo list. What's up, Kill? What's up? Which is why that's on S, yeah. Compul alone is S tier. Okay. Let's see. Josh, I will give you the exact link. Actually, I can give it to you now. Because this is just like, this is everything. It's a Monument of Triumph update. It's everything that they've ever had, including Sunset stuff, every traversal, Pantheons, everything. So, hi, Crumbs. I hope you're doing well. Hi. Okay, yeah. Golgoroth, is that A tier or B tier to y'all? What is Golgoroth to y'all? Give me your, I'm open to your opinions on this one. I don't really know where to place Golgoroth. A, you love Golgi, A tier minimum. Okay. I can move Golgi up to A. Then where is he at? Death Singers. The sisters. I don't know. The fact that you're killing two sisters is kind of anti-woman if you think about it. I think sisters are fine. I think Golgoroth is better than Death Singers in my opinion. Again, in my opinion. But Oryx? S tier. Oryx is great. Oryx's intro, fantastic. Oryx's boss arena, fantastic. Oryx's scale, you just feel like so threatened by him. Fantastic. Oryx's outro, going toward Titan, which then becomes Ghost of the Deep. W lore. Lore drop this weekend. Good. My plate callouts with my team, fantastic. I like Oryx. W women trying to protect their dad. I agree, J12. I agree. But they're trying to kill us. The sisters are trying to kill us. No, we're trying to kill Oryx, and the two women are actually the front line for Oryx, standing in front of him. So I don't know. Kind of W them, right? Maybe we should have let them kill us. Okay. Then that's King's Fall. So we got Oryx S tier, Golgoroth A tier, Sisters B tier, and then I have Hall of Souls and War Priest and Totems on their own in mid tier, but War Priest Pantheon S tier. So overall, King's Fall, very strong raid. My highest rated raid overall, because we got two S tier versions of the. This raid is just really good. Okay, what raid is next? What raid is next? Am I stupid? I might be stupid. Board the Malphas? Dredge and Sarah? No, that's Equilibrium. What is this, y'all? Oh, this is Wrath of the Machine. Why is Wrath of the Machine in this Destiny 2 tier list? Sounds like internalized misogyny to me, not gonna lie. I agree. That's true. That's true. Automatic S. Yeah, but I'm not gonna rank Wrath of the Machine because that's not Destiny 2. Don't care. Okay. So their next things are Wrath of the Machine, which Zamboni, S tier, of course. But no, I'm not gonna compare 30 FPS, you know, the sloggy movement to anything in D2. Also, I mean, I think it's a fantastic raid. Fantastic raid. Fantastic, especially for the time of Destiny 1. But it's not in Destiny 2, so I'm not going to rank it as if it is. Then we've got Leviathan, which I never got to do because I didn't play pre-Sunset Days. The only thing that I can rank is Callus. So I can rank Callus as a boss fight, and I think Callus as a boss fight. Where do I think Callus goes? I think that it's pretty cool. I like the space design. I like the 2 different rooms, splitting your team into 2 groups of 3. I like the emote, the exclusive emote. But what I will say, which I'm not rating loot, by the way, so that emote's actually irrelevant. I will say, though, what the fuck is Callus doing in the space realm? Why is he throwing up? Why is he throwing up on us? You know, I don't really think that that's necessary. Leviathan was a fun raid. It was. No, I know. I'm about to put him in A tier. I think it's a really, really good boss fight. I just S for sucking for real. Yeah, like he sucks you, right? Like Callus really wants to suck you off into space. And then he throws up all over you. So he's also a spitter. I just don't really know what's going on in the space realm or the lore behind it, right? Why is he puking? What is he doing right now? That kind of concerns me, but otherwise, very fun. Very, very fun. Very good raid design. I think it stands like the test of time as well. I'm unfortunately moving across the bridge down to A. Because Golgoroth and Gallus are better than the bridge crossing and Crota's, but I did need to have my moment with Bridge because Bridge is a special encounter to me. You prefer Leviathan over Desert Perpetual? Well, I never got to do the whole raid, but I do think Gallus is really fun. He's spitting out the skulls of former sucked off things. Scion Torture Realm. Callus B. Leviathan was 90% Callus. Well, then Callus is great. Or Leviathan's great. I think Callus is S tier. So that's where I'm putting Callus. And then Argos. What is the name of this raid, y'all? Is this Crown of Sorrows? Is this Scourge of the Past? What am I looking at here? Is this Crown of Sorrows? Or is this one of the layers of Leviathan? I don't actually remember. Eater of Worlds? Okay, so nothing I said. Okay, Eater of Worlds. It was a layer. Pleasure Gardens. What's Pleasure Gardens? Can y'all tell me what Pleasure Gardens is? Am I invited? Sounds fun. Argos is B tier for me. Worse than Callus, but not bad at all. Good encounter, just not up there with Callus, in my personal opinion. Very fast, easy. Maybe it wasn't easy back then, but it kind of makes sense that a raid layer versus like the big dog himself, you know, you'd be a little bit better. You had to hide from dogs in Pleasure Gardens. It was hilarious. That's where the cum puddle should be. In Pleasure Gardens? You're right. I love that Miss Crid doesn't play Destiny, right? We need to get her to play Destiny for the first time. Miss Crid has never played Destiny, y'all. She has never played Destiny. Miss Crid just has good commentary. You know, I don't think she actually fully knows what's going on. She's probably heard a lot over the years, but she heard Pleasure Gardens and said that's where cum pools should be. Because I say cum pools a lot. You know nothing? That's so funny. 2 people give callouts to the rest of the team. Where the dogs are and the other guys hide and get to places to dunk stuff. Then at the end, you kill all of them. Leviathan Loki was a giant game show. I did not love that one, but love Gauntlet. Jon Snow. Dude, Miss Crid needs to play Destiny with us. Like, as we go out from Destiny, Miss Crid needs to experience something in Destiny for the first time. You can't never have played Destiny and be married to Crid. Like, come on. You need to let me take you through, like, one Destiny activity or something. And you'll have no idea what's going on, but it'll be funny that way. What is next? What is next? What is next? Okay, so Argos is B tier for me. Honestly, Argos might be C tier. Argos might just be mid. I will say that I've got a personal bias that I'm going to call out in that I will never get a new raid ever again in Destiny 2. But Argos, Callus, and Golron coming back for me were like brand new raid encounters. And Insurrection Prime, by the way. But they were brand new raid encounters that I was the last raid encounters I will ever learn in Destiny. So it was some people's first raid, like some of their first raiding experience in Destiny. That was my last raiding experience in Destiny. So I've got a soft spot for them because they're brand new to me. So Argos probably gets a slight bump for that, even though I think Argos is like generally mid. Insurrection Prime. Why is Insurrection Prime one of my favorite raid encounters? Insurrection Prime is really good in my opinion. War Priest Pantheon, Insurrection Prime Pantheon, they're just good. I think they're good. I think they're fun. There's a lot going on in Insurrection Prime. The damage phase is a fucking chaotic mess. There is so much shit going on in the damage phase. You have to be on top of it. People are probably going to die. It's a difficult encounter to Sherpa. Love that. I think Insurrection Prime is very, very fun. I don't know how it was back then, but it's very fun now, and I think it can hold up against other raid encounters. You loved Insurrection Prime when Scourge was in the game? The whole raid layer was very underwhelming, and LFG group got worlds first on that one. Wait, an LFG group got worlds first? That's funny. Eater of Worlds first raid completion was done by an LFG group. The encounter just before you get to Argos was so fun. You get shot out of a cannon and fall towards Argos, dodging debris. Yeah, we did that. I went through that encounter in Project Sunrise this weekend during the 30-hour stream, which was cool ass skybox, by the way. Argos can be fun, but it's very mid. Yeah. Could be a C. But then I'm thinking, Argos is not worse than Atheon, in my opinion, and it's certainly not in the same tier as Oracles. Therefore, I'm moving Oracles down to D. I'm probably moving E. No, Atheon is better than Crota. Argos is probably better than Crota. I think I'm going to keep it like this for now. It's a low B. Okay, next, final boss or raid. I think it's going to be Last Wish. I have to skip over all of the sunset stuff and keep remembering where I am. We've got Callie the Corrupted. My girl Callie. Kali. Is it Kali? It's probably Kali based on how it's spelled. She is a D tier. I'm sorry, girlie. I don't want to put you in F tier because I don't think you deserve that, because Last Wish is a beautiful raid. It's probably my favorite overall raid in the game. I feel bad putting her in F tier, but you know what? You know what puts her in D tier and maybe even low C? I love that people can die by forgetting to go in the doors during damage phase. She fucking falls over. The encounter is barely a raid encounter to today's standards. Similarly, Shirochi, I still wipe with my teams to this day. If people are not coordinated, stepping on the plates, you will still die to this day with new people. I think for that reason, it definitely holds up more than Kali. But I don't think it's actually a really good raid encounter. I think Shirochi, Zyrak, hello. I didn't know you were here. Jen, what's up? If you want to do D2 things, I'm happy to help. Jennifer, Jen, I'm saying I got to take Miss Crit through an encounter. Just one. I don't think she actually has any interest in D2, but like, I think it would be really funny to take her through like a fucking raid or some shit with a group, and that's just it. That's her Destiny experience. People like to meme, but top teams like Redeem were seriously trying for worlds first and got beaten by a goated LFG team. That's really funny. Yeah, that's funny shit. I love that story. WLFG team. What's y'all's tier ranking for Shirochi? Am I being too harsh? I think Shirochi is mid. I think C is appropriate. I like the idea of climbing up all of those levels, having a bunch of different damage phases, but she falls over. So like it's pretty mid. Too long, I think C is fair. I also like the idea of like complete the picture by everyone needing to stand on these plates. And once you stand on the plate one time, you can't restand on it. And if you do restand on it, it doesn't work. And then you have to quickly coordinate with your team. And as people are standing on the plates, they're dying. I really do think the concept, like the design of Shirochi, is a B tier. Shirochi's S, only because you can farm ads for cattier orders. Mechanics for solid boss is bad. That's, yeah. Back then, Shirochi, you had to use the orb to extend damage phases. You know what? I'll put her B. I think I just talked myself into B because, again, all of the mechanics I just described are good design. And at the end of the day, I'm rating this design more than I'm saying every single one of them should be the difficulty of Salvation's Edge. I think War Priest Pantheon design is good. I think Oryx's design is good. Oryx fucking falls over today, but I think Oryx's design is good. Insurrection Prime's design is great. Riven Legit design is great. Callus's design is good. I think y'all are gonna shit on me for this one, but Bridge Encounter, Crota's End, design is good. I would have loved Crota's End in D1. I would have ate that shit up. I like Crota. I love Hive lore. I love Hive stories. And I think that the raid encounter designs are fine. I think it's fine. I just have to keep defending Crota's End. But, okay. I like this idea of, like, do not step off your fucking plate. You need to coordinate with your team to, like, cover your plate. You can't get across that shit. The amount of hours I spent we would, like, shatter skate and well skate across and try to see where we could land and not die. When Crota's first came out was really funny. I just like Bridge Encounter. The coordination involved. Is it difficult? No, it's not difficult, but I have day one memories of that. And like, I don't know if y'all can picture yourself back on your first ever day one experience, but like my day one job for Crota Bridge was I was the first person to go across with a sword and fight the immune boss on the other side. And the person everyone was getting enlightened, and the person who was bringing over Chalice, which was Isaac, was not over there yet. So I was by myself with the immune boss, and I was getting fucked. I was getting wrecked over there. It was not fun. It was no joke. Day one, especially for someone who had never stepped foot in a day one experience before. So like, yeah, Bridge. I like Bridge. Fernando, rage quit and crashed, like literally alt F4'd the game and left the day one raid team, Crota Bridge. True story. It's funny that he just popped up in the chat. No one talked to me on morning. Is she talking about Crota? I am. Hello, Fernando. Fuck that Bridge. See? He literally rage quit. Well, we had to find a replacement. So yeah, Bridge to me holds a special place. Blinding GLs for the win there. Yeah, Gucci for sure. Shirochi's nice because you have movement, puzzles, and damage. For sure. Yeah. So I think we're going to keep Shirochi at B. I think that's the right move. Now, but it's with Crota Bridge for me. Where we at? Last wish. What the fuck? Oh, Morgeth. So what am I looking at here? Who is this? Oh, that must be Leviathan or some shit. I'm looking at these encounters and I'm like, what the hell is that? It's because I've never seen it. See, I've seen all of these in Project Sunrise though now. The reactor, the traversal section. I just went through this in Project Sunrise this weekend. Argos is the Delve Deeper. Just went through this in Project Sunrise this weekend. Power Conduit traversal section. Just went through it in Project Sunrise this weekend. I have like hair on my mic. My own hair. Okay. Which is fine. I've like just seen some of these for the first time. Statue Garden. Just saw it in Project Sunrise this weekend. Spire of Stars. Yeah. As easy as Crota is, I loved it coming back. Yeah, thank you. I love Crota. Leon, what's up? Hi. Okay, Morgeth. Morgie, you're such an F tier. The best thing about Morgeth is my team's callouts being help me step bro, I'm stuck. Like that is the only redeeming quality that Morgeth has. I'm sorry, Morgeth, you're literally worthless. However, Morgeth Pantheon, Queen's Walk is good, right? So I think combining Queen's Walk with Morgeth for Pantheon makes it significantly better. Is it War Priest quality? Not in my opinion. And also, if we're just talking design-wise, I think Morgeth deserves an A. They did a really, really good job making Morgeth more meaningful in Pantheon. However, if we're talking about how it functions in the game, Morgeth is so buggy when you're trying to Sherpa. If you spend any amount of time in Morgoth, like if you don't finish it on the first try or the second try, he starts to do the motion as if he's pulling people into the other realm, but he doesn't actually do it. Eyes of Riven will not spawn, so you can't actually unstuck the fucking player that's stuck. Then the damage phase is really weird. Sometimes the eyes spawn, sometimes they don't. Sometimes he will like the bar will jump up during final stand really quickly during traversal section, even if no one dies. There's just a couple bugs with Morgoth Pantheon that make it annoying, but if I'm taking it as it is, just its design, I think Morgoth deserves an A. Morgoth Pantheon buggy? Yeah, it's really buggy. Yeah. Back in D1, you could cheese the fuck out of Crota by pulling the Ethernet cable and he would kneel permanently. Yeah, I think Cross has a video on it, which is funny. Back when Cross used to do raid mechanics and had a brain, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Then we've got y'all. I'm like keep losing my fucking. Oh, Riven. Riven. Where's Vault? Where the fuck is Vault? What's Vault called? Oh, it's called the Vault. It's in front of my face. Am I wrong for this? Vault is S tier for me and Riven's S tier for me. My two favorite, like that is probably one of my favorite, maybe top 3 favorite back-to-back encounters in the game. In the game. Love Vault soundtrack. Vault music is really good. I love Sherpaing Vault. Sherpaing Vault and like having someone understand reading Vault for the first time is like a precursor to them understanding Verity, because Verity is so much more difficult than Vault. So much more difficult. But for some reason, people think that reading Vault is so hard, and it is so unbelievably easy. But Sherpaing Vault is probably my favorite encounter in the entire game to Sherpa, because it is that realization for people that the encounter is so much easier than they think it is. Like so much easier than they think it is. I think people just try to overcomplicate the shit out of that encounter, when if you saw how me and Isaac do it like this past weekend, you only have to say a couple words. It's like maybe 4 or 5 words to read all of Vault. So yeah, I think Vault's good. You've never learned Vault, only did ad clear? You gotta learn. It's fun. It's really fun. Okay, so Vault and Riven are going in S tier for me. Next raid. Oh, I see Insurrection Prime and stuff. The Hollow Map. I just saw this in Project Sunrise this weekend. Oh my god, the idea of a big city with sky rises or high rises and stuff. Dude, this fucking killed me. Seeing this and knowing that I don't get to experience that raid, that it is beautiful. Like Insurrection Prime or whatever the raid is called. What the fuck is it called? Spire Stars? Crown of Sorrow. Whatever that raid is called. Scourge of the Past. Okay, cool. The last one that I was going to say, Scourge of the Past. I would have probably loved that raid because I love Insurrection Prime. The Hollow Map entrance is goated. I don't care if I never got to experience. That is so fucking cool. Now it makes me want to go back in Project Sunrise and look at it again, because holy fuck. I did forget to rate Queen's Walk, because you do get loot at the end. No, you don't get loot at the end of Riven. You get the loot at the end of Queen's Walk. And I only said I was rating encounters you get loot from, but I think Riven, gets a pass. Queen's Walk goes with Riven, but if I'm actually looking at it on its own, I think it's like A, B, A. I don't know. I think it's cool. It's not, in my eyes though, it's not a full encounter. It is part of Riven. When I was rating Riven at S tier, I was thinking the combination of Riven and Queen's Walk together, because you get Riven's loot during Queen's Walk. The equivalent to me is the prison part of Warlord's Ruin. I didn't rank the prison part, even though it's its own like mini game situation. I ranked it as part of the first encounter. I do think you put them with each other. You get loot from both. No, you get your loot at the end. When you kill Riven, you just wait, right? Or am I wrong? Do you get loot from both? Scourge is your favorite raid? When you kill Riven, you get loot? You get loot from both, I promise. Okay, Army Boy, never mind. Okay, where's Queen's Walk? then Queen's Walk on its own is probably a B for me. It's not a raid encounter. Like, it very, very fun, but this is a traversal section for me. A traversal section that you open the chest for the raid exotic at the end. You don't actually get loot at the end of Queen's Walk, right? You get the chance at, you get to open, actually, okay, you get to open a chest, and if you don't get 1K voices, other stuff drops. So you definitely do get loot. Okay, Queen's Walk, high B. I love Last Wish, so like, of course, it's high in my eyes, but it's not a raid encounter. So I always saw it as a continuation of Riven. I didn't even think about them as separate. I would say it's secret chest adjacent, not a traditional loot drop. Yeah, for sure. But we'll put it up there. Maybe some of you would argue I needed an A. I do think it's great. I wish they would have done more of that across other raids. Like, okay, you kill this boss, but you're not done yet. Like, here's a mini game situation. I like that. I think it's very, very strong. Mr. Buddha, what's up? You can't open the chest without the key. Yeah. Yeah. It's not like you can checkpoint Queen's Walk because you need to kill Riven. Like, have a key from killing Riven, so. Mr. Buddha, what is up? What is up? Okay. Let's see. What is next? Oh, wait, Pleasure Gardens is like truly the name of the encounter. That's fucking hilarious. I'm just seeing that. Goran! Goran, I like him. I like this encounter, y'all. I like this encounter. It's stupidly easy. I don't know if it was ever difficult, but like I said, these are brand new encounters to me. I didn't get to experience them before. I'm such a baby guardian compared to y'all. So this is new and fun to me, and I just learned Goran. I just got to experience it for the first time in June, and like, he's up there for me. I like him. I like him. Breaking Trends, thank you for the 70 stream streak. Griffin, thank you for being here. Happy Tuesday. You missed Goran with full auto mountaintop and full auto GLs. Good night, sleeping gamer. Good night, good night. Okay, Goran Day. I'm not hearing any objections, so I guess it's fine. Then we've got Garden of Salvation. Okay. Compools. What are y'all thinking for Compools? I don't think Compools are all that special. I can identify with a big belly dude yelling at pesky kids running around bothering him. Deserved A tier. What's up, Nantox? See, the leapfrog was new. I don't care if it was new. I care about the design of it. Just the design in general. So that's going to be, I could argue a D, but that's because I actually just had a lot of fun doing Garden of Salvation this past weekend. And I'm trying not to be blinded by that fun experience. But it was fun. But man, I don't know. Hold up. Let me look at the whole raid. So, summon the Consecrated Mind. What in the hell is that? I'm even trying to think about. Oh, because they break them up. Individually, these are D tier for me. Hear me out. Give me a second. Because I actually think what made me like Garden of Salvation more this past weekend is that was my first time doing Garden of Salvation since Pantheon. And I think this might be the most surprising thing of the night. I think Consecrated Mind Pantheon is A. Not Bluetooth method. Raw. I mean, the way that Bungie intended. Consecrated Mind is very good. A. Okay, but on their own, not combined, D. Similar to like War Priest Pantheon is S tier for me, but on their own, War Priest and Totems are C. Raw is always more fun, so true. Then we've got Boundless Horizon, that's just traversal, right? And then Sanctified Mind. Aegis, thank you so much for the raid. Thank you. I hope you had a good stream. Welcome in. If you're coming from Aegis's stream, I am doing my final ever raid and dungeon encounter tier list in D2. So we did a 30-hour stream this past weekend where we did every raid and dungeon in the game back to back. Now that all the encounters are fresh in my mind, I want to tier list them one last time. So that's what we're doing right now. Thank you again, Aegis. Thank you for the raid. I just put Sanctified Mind, Garden of Salvation at B tier. Someone please check on me. I don't know if I'm okay. Sanctified Mind would have been an F tier for me a week ago. That is a very drastic change. Hear me out though. When we dedicated 2 people, no one was on ad clear. 4 people were doing Gambit. 2 people were designated. Like, think about these fucking platforms and keep them up and build them. Then Sanctified Mind was not a Floor is Lava boss. And y'all know how I feel about Floor is Lava bosses. I fucking hate them. I despise them. And so when Sanctified Mind became a boss that wasn't Floor is Lava, you know what am I fucking... He's not above Crota. C though. He would have been F and now he's C. That's a big jump. Okay. So the best part of Garden of Salvation for me is Pantheon Garden of Salvation. The encounter got much worse when people stopped building platforms. I don't know why people did that. I had never done that encounter before where people were building platforms. Everyone I had ever run Garden of Salvation with was just like, fuck it, like chaos mode. We'll just, just don't die, don't stand in the lava. I don't like Floor is Lava. I don't think that that's a raid. I don't think it's a fucking raid mechanic. I don't think that that's fun. So yeah, I think I actually had my mind changed this weekend, and it's better when you do the encounter as intended and you keep the platforms building, which is what I think the 2 people who are not on Moat's duty are doing. That's what I think they're supposed to do. I love that Rogue was down to build. Okay, so now we've got Deepstone Crypt. Surviving the Blizzard. Cosmic Galaxy, thank you for following. Surviving the Blizzard is C tier to me. Maybe even D tier. Like, I do think it's unique. I don't think it's like really a raid encounter more than it is a traversal section, but you do get loot. So, wait, do you get loot at the end? Do you get loot at the end of this or no? Because if not, I'm not ranking it. It's a traversal. Okay, never mind. I'm not ranking it. If it was just traversal, yeah, never mind. It's D then. It's like C actually for traversal sections. Where is it then? Crypt security. That's the first thing you get loot for. That is D, and then Atrax is B, and then Spacewalk is traversal, no loot. Nuclear Descent is D, and Tanix is B. Atrax might be A for me, but I'm going to put them both in B for now. Atrax is the best encounter if you do it like on day 1. Hey, you read my mind. I really think that Atrax has an argument to be an A, but Nuclear Descent is B. Oh, I really don't like it. Let's see. Okay, so that's Deepstone Crypt for me, and then Vow of the Disciple. So, do you get loot at the end of Disciple's Bog? No, that's just the raid intro, right? Acquisition is the first encounter. I think Acquisition is a B. I think Acquisition's a B. See Outdoors. Thank you for following. Welcome. I think it's a B. And then Caretaker. I like Caretaker. Yeah, I like Eiffel Towering as a mechanic. I think Caretaker's an A. But especially Caretaker, Pantheon Caretaker. Which I don't get to rate him, but that also changed my opinion. And then Exhibition. Is that the encounter? Is that third encounter? That's a D. Like whatever to me. C maybe. I don't know. Rolk. S. Caretaker's S. He's that good. I could argue. I mean, high A. These are not like in order, by the way. Like this, your Ute was at the top. She's not the highest A. She's the lowest A for sure. But they're not in order within the tier. They're just all in that tier. There's definitely a spectrum of A as well. I think Caretaker, I could say maybe low S, high A. Atrax just falls over too easily now, so people don't bother with it anymore. I do think Aatrox as intended can be A, so we'll put her in A. Because I mean, Riven Cheese also falls over, but Riven Legit's awesome, so that's fine. I'm fine with putting Aatrox in A. Aatrox really does carry. Aatrox, Deepstone Lullaby, that's what's carrying that raid for me personally. Okay. Root of Nightmares. My voice is starting to hurt. I talked a lot this weekend. I literally stayed up the entire weekend, and then I stayed up till 3 a.m. last night with watch party in the Discord, and I'm dehydrated as hell. My voice is going. Cataclysm. D. Scission. F. Fuck them motherfucking launchers. Maybe a D. Maybe a D because I don't. Where are y'all rating Scission? I'll do first and second encounter of Root of Nightmares rate for y'all. Which tier? Crid, I'm hydrated. Hello, Crid. Oh, yeah, Caretaker Collection is Pantheon version. That's true. So S tier, I would say. You love Cataclysm as the runner? Yes, but like only one bitch has to be the runner. Sucks because Root is beautiful. Root is so beautiful. Root is unreal. Root is unreal. So let's do. I'm gonna say D. They would be F tier, literally bottom of the barrel F tier if you're talking about the perspective of the ad clearers. If I'm an ad clearer in Root of Nightmares, I'm falling asleep. Again this weekend for the second 24 plus hour stream in a row, my lowest low of the entire 30-hour period was Scission. Isn't that fucking crazy? If I am not actively doing the mechanic for the first half of Root of Nightmares, I'm just falling asleep at the wheel. I can't do that ad clear shit. I can't. And the launchers pissed me off too. You know what I think is better than Cataclysm and Scission combined? Hear me out. This traversal section is one of my favorite traversal sections that Bungie has ever made. I don't think Root of Nightmares deserves all of the hate that it gets because I think it's a fantastic beginner raid. You get them soloing a mechanic, you get them learning a mechanic. Planets is incredible. Nez is fine. This traversal section though, where you have the threat of death the entire time, it teaches a raider to be paying attention to your buff. Pay attention to the buff because that crosses over into other raids. The Chalice in Crota's End. Pay attention to your fucking timer. Like stuff like that, it ingrains in your head. Like if I'm not paying attention to this buff and I'm not keeping this buff up the entire time by doing this mini mechanic, I'm going to die. And it's just a traversal section, but it's you feel like you're more mentally engaged in the raid during the traversal section 2 planets encounter than the first and second encounters combined. I will defend this traversal section. This is a hill I will die on. It is a very, very, very well-designed traversal section that teaches good raid etiquette for new raiders, and I like it. Good shit. I can't rank it because it doesn't have loot, but it would be rated at like a B. Launchers are still so buggy. Oh, I know. No, I know. And then Macrocosm. Oh my God, I love planets. Fuck, I love planets. Good shit. I still need to solo that. I will not let my Destiny days end without soloing planets. I love planets. And then Nez. Nezzy, you had so much potential, but you're so damn mid. Nez is there with Crota. Like, come on, y'all have so much potential. Your encounters are just so damn mid. But yeah, he's mid. I'm not gonna shit on him. I do think that like again, there's a lot of potential there. It's just unfortunate that, you know, a lot of stuff got cut and I think it was rushed. He was not nearly as threatening as he should have been in that arena. You could just stand on a plate and get ignored by him. The idea is really there, but the design just the execution of the design was just not there for Nez. And so for that reason, he's mid tier. But planets will be S tier in my heart forever and ever and ever. I love planets so much. Planets deserved better. That traversal section in planets deserved to be in a strong raid. Okay. Salvation's Edge. First encounter of Salvation's Edge. I'm gonna try not to look at this with rose-colored lenses. I think I'm gonna anyway, though. First encounter is actually not my least favorite encounter in the raid. Third encounter is my least favorite encounter in the raid. But I think first and third are like, pretty damn similar. Fuck. I just think Salvation's Edge is a really strong raid overall. They should have removed all the platforms. Absolutely. Yep. Agreed. There is a lot going on during Nez, like the idea if he didn't have platforms. During, the threat of the enemy density, I think is good. The mechanic needs to be done quickly. Someone needs to be sniping, figuring out like how to have that safety spot. Nez could have been a lot scarier than he was, but he just wasn't. I don't know. Where are y'all putting first encounter of Salvation's Edge? I don't want to call it mid. I don't think anything about Salvation's Edge was mid. But I think B might be a little bit too generous for first encounter. I'm not sure. And then second encounter, I do know. Herald of Finality, I like. I think it's an A tier. There was no hiding with Rogue. Why not Nez? Exactly. No, exactly. Couldn't agree more. Herald of Finality is A tier for me for sure. Repository, probably also B tier. So first and third encounter of Salvation's Edge, B tier. Herald of Finality, A tier. Then we've got Verity, S tier. And The Witness, S tier. Is that bad? Is that a good distribution? I don't know. Must have missed it. Why is Exhibition in D? I don't like it. Yeah, I could put it in C. Maybe it's just mid. I don't know. It's just my least favorite encounter of the raid. I think Witness is lower than Verity. I think it is the pinnacle of everything that came before it. I think the Witness's impact, the Skybox fully seeing, that is the first time you see them at that scale. When you're not gambling and you're doing the encounter correctly, memorizing the colors and shapes, doing it correctly without standing in a without standing in a pool for too long to get buff. When you're doing that shit there's constantly strand enemies trying to rope you in. There's a million screeb everywhere. I genuinely believe that, like, yes, coming out of Verity, you're like, oh, well, shit, Verity's the hardest encounter in the game. And so the Witness maybe should have been harder. I think gambling is sort of like rating Riven based off of her cheese. I'm not cheesing the Witness. Yes, I am cheesing the Witness like today, but when I'm saying you're doing the Witness as intended, the correct way, shooting without getting buff, seeing what shape it needs, going to get that shape, going back, like getting Glyph Breaker, doing the test. I think the test is a really fun mechanic. Oh my God. People like say that the Witness isn't hard, but then every single time you're doing the raid with a group of 6, how many fucking people die during damage? How many people in 2026 who have done Salvation's Edge many times before still die to this day during damage? I think the Witness it would be wrong of me to put the Witness in anything other than S tier. And yeah, no, I think he's great. I think he's great. I think that it's some of the best raid design Bungie's ever done. I do think Verity is great. Verity's incredible as well, but is that it? Oh, no. What comes next? You still sometimes die during the Witness? Yeah. Witness is fit. It's just amazing. It's amazing. Let's see. All right. Last ones. Desert Perpetual. Oh no, my fan just fell on my camera. Fuck. Desert Perpetual. Oh, we've got the epic DP version and the regular DP version. So if we're talking, is this Hobgoblin? Why is the picture so weird? Yeah, this is Hobgoblin. Hobgoblin Epic is A tier. Hobgoblin Normal is B tier. I lost him. Oh, right here is B tier. Hydra Epic is A tier. Oh yeah, Tech, DM me. Hell yeah. And then Hydra normal is B tier. Chicken epic is C tier. Chicken normal is D tier. Weakest encounter of the raid. And then I could also argue a low B for epic chicken. And then Corregos normal, I'd say A tier. These are just again, do I think that everything after Salvation's Edge sort of feels a little bit directionless now, knowing that the game is an end of service? You're like, fuck, what could have been with future raids, future dungeons? I just spilled my water everywhere. First spill in the new place. Oh my god, I just spilled my water literally everywhere. Oh my god. Fuck, Olivia. Why? Why? Motherfucker, man. Dude, it's on its cup holder. My arm was so extended. My arm is fully extended. Why is my arm swinging over there? On a positive note, I don't think anything's going to be affected because none of my equipment's over there. But on a negative note, yeah, nothing's going to be affected. On a negative note, there's water everywhere. But the cup holders are far enough away from all of my equipment that none of my equipment is wet at all. Like, none of it. Usually I'd be like panicking that everything just got liquid all in it, but the cup holder did save the day. Nothing's wet. But I do have water everywhere. Water everywhere with that foot of yours? Yeah, it's going to be quite the struggle. I also don't want it to get into my surge protector because all of my monitors are plugged into that surge protector. So all of my monitors going bad would probably be an issue. Anyway, let's finish this tier list. So, let's see. Where were we? Oh, we were at the end. Okay. Corregos Epic is actually mid to me. Whoopsies. I just think the mini games are meh. He falls over, like whatever. A very cool idea. I just don't think the execution was there. The boss room is incredible. The traversal to the boss is incredible. The music is really good. The design itself is actually good. I could put it in B potentially, but I just think the execution of it was like, whatever. These mini games are just not all that. 3 more placements, I'm losing my mind. Will Praxic Blade ever be good? Chaos, do you even play Destiny? Praxic Blade was overpowered for 8 months. I'm talking about like it still is to the like. Okay, wait, 7 months? 7 months. Like, what are you talking about? No one unequipped it for 7 months straight. It was the best weapon in the game. It's like still arguably overpowered. It's never been bad, but yeah, it got rightfully nerfed. It was just incredibly overpowered, the most used weapon in the entire game. So I don't know if you played Renegades at all, but yeah, no, Praxic Blade was incredible. Okay, so those are my epic DP rankings. Regular Corregos, maybe A even feels meh. I think Hobgoblin and Hydra were better. I really like Hobgoblin and Hydra. But to be fair, those were the first 2 encounters I did on contest, and they felt fun. Felt good to get those done. I don't know. I don't know if putting Epic Corregos in C is too harsh, but like, could have been more. Could have been better. I don't know. Maybe a low B. Okay. I think that's it. Oh, they have Pantheon 1.0 stuff. And although it's not in the game today, it obviously is stuff that I played. So, Nezarec Pantheon. Remind me what the fuck was different. What did we do with Pantheon Nez? Rolk Pantheon was also good. It was also S tier. Very fun. But I think Rolk normal was S tier as well. The plates lit on fire. Why do I not remember this well? You couldn't stand on the plates. Oh yeah, you had to damage him from the ground. Okay. So Nez was he's probably just B tier Pantheon. Like Nez himself needed that encounter just needed a rework. It did fix the issue of like, oh, stand on plate, don't get damaged, but it didn't fix the encounter as a whole. So I think overall, this is the final. It was not good. We still cheesed it because there were areas that didn't light on fire. Yeah, okay. Maybe that's why I don't find it all that memorable. Maybe that's why. Yeah, it's hard to rank Nez highly. Planets is by far the best thing of that raid, and even the traversal section I think is better than Nez. They did try to fix that though, I guess. Okay, yeah. This is my final ranking. So Pantheon 2.0 War Priest, Pantheon 2.0 Insurrection Prime. Actually, I'm not even going to say Pantheon 2.0, just Insurrection Prime because it's the same encounter. So Pantheon 2.0 War Priest, Insurrection Prime, Oryx, Vault, Legit Riven, Rolk, and Pantheon 1.0 Rolk, Caretaker from Pantheon 1.0, Planets Encounter, Verity, and The Witness. Those are my S tier raid encounters, what I think are the best designed encounters in the game. Then we got Golgoroth, Callus, Bridge Encounter, Morgith, Pantheon 2.0 Morgith, Galran, Pantheon 2.0 Consecrated Mind, Iryut, Atrax, second encounter Salvation's Edge, Epic, Desert Perpetual, Hobgoblin, Epic, Desert Perpetual, Hydra, and then Desert Perpetual, Koragos, A tier. Atheon, first encounter Crota, Sisters, King's Fall, Shurochi, Argos, Queen's Walk, Last Wish, Tannix, first encounter, Vow the Disciple, first and third encounter, Salvation's Edge, regular Desert Perpetual, Hobgoblin, and Hydra, Epic Desert Perpetual, Koragos, and Pantheon 1.0 Nezarec B tier. And honestly, Pantheon 1.0 Nezarec can stay in C tier as well. They were just mid. Honestly, yeah, I'm moving him down. C tier, Crota, Nezarec, Pantheon and non-Pantheon Nezarec, King's Fall, Hall of Souls, War Priest, and Totems. All three of those mid. Sanctified Mind, mid, but not. Hey, it moved up. It moved up from F to C for me. Exhibition, mid. Epic, Chicken, mid. And then D and F tier, the ones that I just think in general are below average raid encounters. Maybe they don't stand the test of time. Maybe I don't think their design is very good. A lot of them suffer from just being separate encounters in general. Like War Priest and Totems never should have been separate encounters, ever. Consecrated Mind and Summon the Consecrated Mind should have never been separate encounters ever. Oracles, Confluxes, all that separate shit that you do in that room, it should have been one extended, more in-depth encounter. And then you would have something of substance. I don't think that encounters thrive by being shorter mini versions of like a better, more put together whole encounter. So Oracles, Confluxes, Templar, Gatekeepers, all D tier for me. Kali, D tier, meh these days, especially. Summon the Consecrated Mind, Crypt Security, Nuclear Descent, Cataclysm, Scission, and regular Desert Perpetual Chicken, all D tier. F tier, first encounter Vault of Glass, just because it's stand on plate, shoot enemies. I'm not hating on the environment's actually really cool, but like, come on, it's stand on plate, shoot enemies. And then Morgith, non-Pantheon Morgith, dog shit, and Evade the Consecrated Mind, first encounter of Garden of Salvation. I mean, again, we're just like playing leapfrog with pools of cum. These are important foundational like bricks. They were important stepping stones that Bungie took with earlier raids to get to the incredible raid design that we got later in the game. Even though Desert Perpetual and Epic Desert Perpetual will never like pull at the heartstrings lore-wise for anyone in the way that Salvation's Edge and King's Fall and other raids do, because we never got the end of that story. We never got the continuation of that story. Desert Perpetual and Epic Desert Perpetual as raid designs were very strong. The raid and dungeon team, unbelievably talented, and was just getting more and more talented every year. The later raids, like some of their work in the later raids is just unreal. So I do think that while the raids don't feel like they fit into the Light and Darkness Saga picture of dungeons and raids, like Equilibrium, Epic Desert Perpetual, and Desert Perpetual kind of feel like fish out of water to me, but I think they're strong. Equilibrium is a really strong dungeon, and I didn't even like Star Wars LARPing shit, but I think Star Wars LARP aside, Equilibrium is a really strong dungeon. Epic Desert Perpetual, and having an epic version of a raid that was already pretty well designed, I think is really cool. Very, very, very cool. And I'm sad that there are no more of them. So, this is just shitting on early content good at the time. Anubis, if that's what you just reduced my entire tier list to, then you did not listen to a single word I just said. I literally just now, 5 seconds ago, acknowledged that exact thing that you said. I don't think you've been listening to me at all. DJ, hello. Imagine Oracle's Complex's Templar all at the same time. That's what I'm saying. Well, maybe you're not agreeing with me. I don't mean that they all have to happen at the same exact time, but like, don't separate them into 3 encounters. Find some way to blend those together, and you have to be able to like successfully do all of those mechanics in order to complete the encounter. So, I explained myself, Anubis, multiple times. Oracle's, Conflux's, Templar, Gatekeepers are only here because I don't think that there need to be 17,000 encounters in a raid. I think that they would be stronger together. I also just explained in my the entire fucking spiel I just went on was that Summon the Consecrated Mind and Consecrated Mind on their own are down here, but together, what Bungie just did in Pantheon 2.0, Consecrated Mind Pantheon is A tier. Like, that is old content. They combine the 2 encounters, and I think that that's what they should have been the entire time, and that is Garden of Salvation A tier for me. I said that War Priest and Totems were C tier, and yeah, that's earlier reprised content, but when they combined them and made War Priest one whole encounter, I think that's S tier. So I gave my reasoning. I don't think you were listening, but no, I'm not just shitting on earlier content at all. I also just fucking said that these were really important. Like, these were the foundation. You can't always progress without having a foundation. This was the first raid in the game, and I completely acknowledge that. I'm not going to give it extra points because it was the first raid in the game. Raise the Spire, standing on a plate shooting enemies, does not hold up to anything we would get today in any capacity, in my opinion. Your tier list can look totally different than mine, but this is the way that mine looks because this is my tier list. I think it would be wrong for me to put Raise the Spire in anything other than F tier. Does that mean that it was dog shit when it came out? No, but it's 2026. I'm making this tier list on August 18th, 2026. So, I'm rating them today based on their design, and the design of Rolk, for example, has stood the test of time. This is 4 years old, and it's fantastic. It's S tier. War Priest, how many years old is King's Fall? All they did was combine the 2 encounters that already existed, and it's literally S tier. So I just think it's a superficial argument to like come at me for like shitting on earlier content, when if the content stood the test of time, then it stood the test of time. How old is Last Wish? Was Last Wish not the very first raid in D2? Vault and Legit Riven are some of the best raid encounters Bungie has ever made. Ever. I love those raid encounters, so how am I just shitting on earlier content? Some of the content stands the test of time, and some of it does not, and it's okay. It's really okay. It's okay to say, Raise the Spire was standing on a plate and shooting enemies, and that's not quite what we get out of a raid. That's not quite our raid standards today. If Raise the Spire was a strike, I think it would be a fine strike. Actually, it might even be a bad strike. But that is the kind of thing we do in a strike. We stand on plates, we wait for them to complete, we shoot enemies, we don't let the enemy get too close, we defend a point. That's a strike. That's a public event even. So no, I do not think that that's raid caliber. I do not think that it deserves anything other than F tier. So anyway, I don't think you can rank content across decades. I just did though. I just did. And Last Wish is probably... Raise the Spire was a public event in D1. I just did. I don't know, like Last Wish raid launch date. Let's see. September 4th, 2018. So, I mean, closer to a decade ago than not. And it's S tier. So, yeah, we're coming up on the 8-year anniversary. It was, you could help people get in the raid on the destination. Okay, then that makes complete sense. I just unknowingly compared this to a strike or a public event, and it was a public event. So why am I putting it in anything other than F tier if I'm looking at raid design? Awesome. If it was a public event, you could get to the raid from the destination. I think that's sick. That's all. That's like really cool, and I wish they did more of that kind of a vibe today. Even though, like, with the reality of social media today is like shit gets data mined. The second that secrets are found, like everyone just runs. There's no like sit around in a public event or sit around in a public zone and help people in kind of a thing, because there's a lack of like discovery, because the second that something's posted on social media, you've got millions of eyes on it from like content creators and all that kind of stuff. So like everyone kind of knows about it and that discovery is gone. But Raise the Spire is just a public event, so it's okay. It's okay that it's an F. It acknowledged the water spill. Dude, I really do need to clean this. Like, seriously. I kind of forgot that I spilled water, and if my monitors go out, that'd be thousands of dollars I don't want to spend. So, I honestly think we're in the clear, though, besides the fact that there's water all over, because this is a 30-ounce bottle, and it was full, so I have 30 ounces of water on my floor. But like other than that, we're chilling. And this is proof that despite the fact that I did just spill something in my new place for the first time, less than a month into streaming here, I have cup holders. They're a full arm's length away out of like I kind of have like a spill zone, right? Like if something is to spill, this is the zone that it would spill on, and it worked. This was really just a trial if you think about it, because nothing got wet. Nothing. Not my stream deck, not my mouse pad, not my keyboard, not my nothing. And in the last place, there we go. Did stream pause for anything else? The water affecting something else, I think. The water got into something? Perf.